is your life.
This is row 1, seat 1.
Well, this is nice. When did we start doing this? Nobody told me about this. I thought everything sucked now. Do you have a card?
You shake my bones and you rattle my balls.
I'm going to, okay? Jada, I love him. Can't wait to see it. All right?
Luck is for dudes.
I'm like, Joey can't get to his damn computer and phone fast enough to just smash everything he can possibly say.
That means every fucking thing to me.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Yes, the ride will continue.
Bawonkos.
I cannot wait for 2023 to start.
Sean
Is it
Payton.
September yet?
Yeah.
I know the playoffs just started. We haven't even gotten a playoff game in yet, but I can't already wait for 2023. After what I just saw out of my Broncos the last 2 weeks, averaging 27.5 points a game, Russ is all of a sudden looking like the Russ of old. It's funny. You fire Nathaniel Hackett, and in the last 2 weeks of the season, the last 2 games without him, the Broncos have the number 1 red zone offense in the league. 13 trips to the red zone, which led the league. 12 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Oh, my God. It's almost as if Russ was never the problem, and it was coaching, like I've been saying for the last 4 months. I digest. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Another episode of Row 1, Seat 1, Joey Fats Radio, live right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. I am your host, Joey Fats. With me, as always, Mr. Betancourt, Plizzy.
Yeah, what up?
Champion, fantasy football champion, Plizzy.
That's so lame. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
He had to. He had to shine it on. He beat Shadis in the championship,
Beat Shadice's ass. With his,
and he had to make sure that Shadis knew who the boss was.
yeah. I mean, you can't go putting on like one of the. You can't go putting up like an inferior lineup against my championship caliber team, dude.
Nah, you really can't. I mean,
You know.
we'll ignore the fact that it took a guy literally almost dying on the field for Paul to and the game having to be canceled.
I'm not laughing at that.
For Paul to have to win, for Paul to be able to win. But you know what? It just goes to show you that fate was on your side.
Yep. I was meant to win this year.
You were it was your year. Whether somebody almost had to die or not, it was your year. 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. We got an absolutely assload of stuff to get to tonight. Boys, totally packed show. Phone lines are open. Give us a call if you want to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We're going to get into everything. We're going to get into Aaron Rodgers potentially hanging it up. The rumors are swirling. Could this be it for A-Rod? We're going to get into some celebration drama that started in Madden. We'll get into Damar Hamlin, that whole situation a little bit. We'll wrap it up and talk about it for the last time because this will be it. We'll give you our NFL playoff preview, our predictions, our Super Bowl predictions, all that plus a whole shitload more. We're going to get into all of it. All of it. What do you guys, what should we, what do we want to kick this off with? Do we want to start this off with because we're going to get into Black Monday. There's coaches that are being fired. We've got some interesting news coming out of Arizona regarding Kyler Murray and the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And just a classic example of why bad teams stay bad.
Yep.
Makes no sense.
None.
Yep.
None.
If that news is true,
Why they would give him any input on who the next head coach is?
why he should have any input at all.
That's what I said. I was like, what?
First of all, you're lucky that Lucky Charm-looking motherfucker even has a job in the NFL, much less a starting quarterback that has say in what the team does. He is the responsible reason for the last 2 years that team being dog shit.
Yeah.
Him. Not the coach, not the players. That team loaded up with players. How many guys did they go out and get on that team? Am I wrong? Remember when they brought in Robbie Anderson? Remember Robbie Anderson was a number 1 for Carolina. He was going to be the number 4 wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals to help Kyler. Kyler barely threw to him. Kyler's like, I don't have time to look over that way. I'm too short.
He was too busy playing Call of Duty. He was like, bro, like no one told. He's like, you guys knew Call of Duty was dropping in the middle of the season.
He is going to recommend one of his friends with a good KD ratio. He's going to be like, oh, man, his kill death's like 6.2.
If Kyler has any input on the head coach, he's going to be like, all right, what's your favorite game mode? What's your KD? What's your rank?
What's your skin
what
type?
Prestige?
You know what I'm talking about?
You know, because the only way you're going to be able, because the only the only way you're going to be able to like get at me anytime like after 3:00 in the afternoon is on Xbox Live.
Hey, I hate Kyler Murray was someone I just never liked as a player. Now, as a person, he's like on my list of like guys I hate.
So I guess
love to hate to watch.
I guess we'll just start there then. Why in God's name? So the report that came out, for those of you that are wondering, a report surfaced earlier this afternoon that Kyler Murray will have a say in the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Steve Keim is gone. Cliff Kingsbury is gone. They need a new GM, a new head coach, and they are going to consult Kyler Murray for some inexplicable reason on who he wants his next head coach to be. Now, I don't know to what degree that what does that mean? They're going to consult him. Like, okay, maybe they're going to ask him like, "Hey, Kyler, do you like this guy?" And he's going to be like, "No." They're going to be like, "Cool, well, you're playing for him now." That could be considered consulting him, but you would be led to believe that Kyler Murray is actually going to have some sort of
Big
valued input into who comes in and coaches him. Because, I mean, unfortunately for the Cardinals, they're married to him for at least the next couple of years. I mean, they've invested way too much money into this kid to just let him kind of see you later.
Pathetic.
And cut bait and let him go play baseball. That ain't happening. They're determined to make this thing work in Arizona. And with Kyler, look, we all know, like, they had to put a clause into his contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
That
They had to make a huge
homework clause. There was a homework clause.
They had to back that out and be like, "Listen, that was a misunderstanding. We took that out." No, you didn't. There's no way you could take that out of a contract and be like, "Oh, we made a revision." No, you did not.
No.
First of all, that's too much to go through. Anybody that's looked at contracts and like that, you can't just put a revision in at the end after you've already signed the goddamn contract. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
The NFLPA wouldn't allow for that shit either. I don't understand. And then on top of it, speaking of the Cardinals, speaking of horrible moves, they're going to jettison DeAndre Hopkins. I know DeAndre Hopkins didn't play 6 games last year, but it's still DeAndre freaking Hopkins. You're going to jettison that man because what? They didn't get along? You're going to jettison Cliff Kingsbury, an immensely talented offensive mind. He might be a terrible head coach, but he has a great offensive mind. Draws up immaculate plays. So I would love to have him on the Patriots as defensive coordinator. Would love every second of it. The general manager, Klein, did a great job building that team, was able to get J.J. Watt to come there, was able to trade for a lot of good talent, drafted guys really well in Arizona.
Right.
The only mistake they made was Kyler Murray. That dude was like injecting cancer right into your esophagus and then being shocked that you had throat cancer. It was like, how did this happen? I don't know.
I don't know.
And then he's
Writing's on the
literally
wall, man.
he went right to the brain, which is the NFL owner, and he's like, "Well, I'm a number 1 pick, and look at my jersey sales, and everyone wants to be like Kyler. Nobody wants to be like you. The people in Arizona are stupid to believe in you. If Kyler Murray was on an East Coast team, any East Coast team, if he was in New York, if he was in Boston, if he was in Maryland, if he was in Florida, done." There is no way. It's because he's in the desert in Arizona where they don't really have fan bases. They have like those fans that show up like, "Hey, we're winning. Let's go buy $50 worth of seats." That ends up being 11 seats. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tickets are dirt cheap out there. There's no fan base. The stadium doesn't fill up and the team doesn't sell.
Got to find a breaker throw.
Sorry.
It's darts because Joey's obsessed. I don't understand the obsession with Kyler Murray. If you get rid of him, that team is immensely better right off the bat. I'm dead serious. I want somebody to argue with me. I would wish we knew an Arizona Cardinal fan. We'll never know them because they don't exist. I wish we knew an Arizona Cardinal fan that we're going to call in.
I don't know a single
I don't know
Cardinals
any
fan.
No, of course not. Nobody knows a
Cardinals
Cardinals fan. You might love players like remember when the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner? You can name half that roster. You had Larry Fitzgerald. You had Kurt Warner. You have Too Tall, Tim Hightower. You had so
Bolden.
many. You had Edgerrin James for a while at the end of his
Edgerrin
career.
James, Anquan Bolden. You had what was the safety that slipped? Number 47. I can see his face. He had a
With the crazy, ridiculous vertical.
yeah.
Adrian Wilson.
No. Adrian Wilson was gone at that point.
Was he? Okay.
Patrick Peterson was on that
Patrick
team.
Peterson was on there for a long time.
Actually, no, I lied. Patrick Peterson was not on that team. Patrick Peterson was still 3 years away from being drafted at that point. That was
Really?
late.
It feels like Patrick Peterson.
2011. He was because he was the same. He was a Von Miller draft.
Man,
It was Gerald
feels
McCoy, Von Miller, Patrick Peterson. Because I remember those were the 3 guys I wanted out of that.
I feel
draft.
like Peterson's been in the league for like 15 years.
I know, right?
Yeah, it does feel like he's been in like a lot longer.
But anyway, like that was an Arizona team like you could root for and you were excited about. These
Yeah.
Arizona teams,
I rooted for
nothing.
him just simply because of Larry Fitzgerald. I wanted Arizona to win that Super Bowl.
Aeneas
so
Williams.
bad,
Aeneas
but-
Williams was a long time ago though.
Was it Santana Moss that caught it in the back in the? Or
Santana
Holmes.
Moss was
Santonio
on the
Holmes.
Santonio
Steelers.
Holmes, sorry.
Santonio Holmes.
Caught the touchdown against the Cardinals.
What's Santana Moss on the Cardinals too?
No. He was
Santana Moss went to the Redskins.
Santana Moss. No,
San-
Santana Moss was definitely not on that team.
Santonio
so
Holmes got
Santonio
traded
Holmes
to,
was
but
Pittsburgh.
the Super Bowl catch was him in
With
Pittsburgh.
Santonio Holmes.
With
Santonio Holmes
yes,
was in
that's what I'm
Pittsburgh.
saying. If I wish he
And then
hadn't
he went,
got
and then he
that.
went to the Jets, and he made an equally ridiculous catch against the Patriots in, I believe it was 2010, when the Patriots got knocked off when they had that when Brady had his MVP year in 2010, and the Jets went in and knocked him off at home, and Santonio Holmes had a ridiculous touchdown grab in that game too. No, this Arizona Cardinals team, this was a 9-7 team too. Like that's the funny thing.
Yeah, but they went on a run because they had talent. They just during the year they struggled.
Antrell
James
Roll
Conn.
was the free safety.
Oh my God, Antrell, the former Raven that
Yeah,
was there
you
forever.
had Tim Hightower, Edgerrin James, J.J.
Yep.
Arrington.
Nah, I don't like Arrington.
DRC, Dominic Rogers Cromartie. That's who it was.
Wow,
Oh,
Yep.
that must have been when he had like 4 kids.
This
No.
was after the
That's
Raiders, right?
that's DRC, not Antonio Cromartie.
Ah, you're right. He was
This
the
is his
really,
cousin.
He was the really thin one.
Yeah,
He was-
DRC was the one that played for the Broncos after
yeah.
for a couple years.
He was the lanky.
Didn't one of them play for the Raiders?
I'm sure they did.
A
Everyone plays for the
Cromartie?
Raiders.
Yeah, wasn't there a Cromartie?
There's a criminal.
Yeah, Oakland. DRC played for him in 2018
Yeah,
for
all right.
Oakland.
I thought so.
But no, that was actually a pretty decent team though. Like they actually
Of
had
course it was.
a fairly Carlos Dansby. God, remember him? Antrell
Carlos
Roll.
Dansby.
You had Adrian Wilson was on that team. Cheeky O'Keefer or Okafor, however you want to spell it. Darnell
Okafor.
Dockett, Beast. They actually had a pretty Calais Campbell, a young Calais Campbell. Bertrand Berry was still there. Shit, that's crazy.
Dude, that team was stacked.
Clark
Holy
Higgins.
shit.
Yeah, that's
How did they lose?
Monty Beasel. Remember him? Beasel. That was a fun team. That was a really fun team. And then Neil Rackers, the kicker.
Dude, that kicker, he racked up, no pun intended, so many fantasy points because he would constantly hit
Neil
55-yarders.
Yeah, he was just,
Constantly.
but Kurt Warner brought that team to the Super Bowl. They got there because of Kurt Warner and that offense because they just caught fire at the right time. Remember they went into Carolina, absolutely demolished them in the NFC Championship. We were like, not in the NFC Championship. The NFC Championship was against was Arizona, Philly. But they went into Carolina. I believe it was a wild card weekend, and like smacked them around if I'm not mistaken. But that was a fun team. I very much enjoyed that team, that 08 team. But you're right though. Like there are no such thing as Cardinals fans. They don't exist. So again, I would love to hear from a Cardinals fan if they were a thing,
I want to hear a Kyler fan.
or a
even more.
Kyler fan. But do
Actually,
they even
we,
exist?
We do know a Kyler fan.
We do.
It's Duffy, but he shouldn't count. No offense, Duffy, even if you're listening.
Well,
Like,
Duffy's just a fan of like everybody who's not a Green Bay Packer or could
Well-
potentially be a threat to the Niners.
Well, he was a fan of Kyler because of his dress code, and I'm like, man, when he shows up in a woman's suit, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm like, that's
Listen,
it.
Kyler Murray is a fucking clown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Like
like,
we're
he
just
does
gonna.
that
I'm
shit
just
for
gonna say he's a clown. Like the kid's just immature. He's never gonna amount to anything in the NFL.
Big time.
He's too small, too injury prone, and too much of a mental midget.
Oh.
And that's not a knock on his height. It's just
But they might make a special helmet for him and for Tua next year. How do you feel about that?
good. Whatever. Who cares?
That's stupid.
I don't care.
I care. It looks
Special
ridiculous.
helmets, great. Let them
does it
let them go out there looking like fucking.
It's gonna look like the Wes Welker helmet.
It's gonna look
from
like the
Denver.
Darth helmet.
Remember the Wes Welker Denver helmet they gave
Like
him?
the huge crown. Like,
Yeah. It's gonna be like one of those oversized hats you see all the players wearing.
Yeah.
They're gonna wear the field like that.
I noticed your Schwartz is as big as mine. Imagine we get Cardinals, Dolphins. We just get like the fucking bobblehead fucking quarterbacks out there running around. But yeah, I don't understand. But again, this is why bad teams stay bad. This is why bad ownership is the key to being a bad team and staying a bad team. Because when you have bad ownership, they do things like consult their quarterback on who's going to be their next head coach.
Right.
You don't give the quarterback that option. That's not for the quarterback to decide. You come in, you play. Now, granted, I get it. If you feel like a guy, all right, hey, listen, we got a guy that, we think you jive well with. Well, wasn't that Cliff Kingsbury?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the whole point of bringing in Kingsbury? Was
Yes.
that him and Kyler like knew each other and they
Yes.
were together in college and
Yes.
Right.
they were gonna get it done because the familiarity was there and there's gonna be
Right.
less of a transition and less of a learning curve. What happened with that? So what makes you think that Kyler's going to be able to go out and select the next head coach? Kyler doesn't know anything about head coaching.
That's what I'm
No.
saying. A coach is supposed to come in and coach you up to his level because he's supposed to know the game and understand it better than you do.
Right.
So
The
he's
coach's
supposed
job
be
is to
able
get the most out of
you-
his players.
Exactly. So there's it's almost like not being the smartest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong fucking room. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Kyler choosing, like, what the fuck would he do?
That was always one of my
anyway?
biggest pet peeves.
You know what I mean?
When I was in my last job, when I was still working in sales, I loved it because I never once felt like I was the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
Because I could look across the table at any given one of my colleagues on the team or my boss. You know, at least early on. Later on, I looked at my boss like he was a complete fucking idiot because he was. But there was when I first started. I walked into a room with a bunch of people that I felt were teaching me stuff. And I was always learning something from them, so I never felt like the smartest guy in the room. It's one of the best feelings in the world if you're somebody that's driven and wants to succeed. You never want to feel like you're the smartest guy in the room, because if you are, then you've run out of things to learn.
Exactly.
And you got to find different ways to do it. Granted, they do say teacher gets the most, blah, 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 all that stuff. But
Kyle's in practice, looks at his new head coach. Hey, watch this. Chucks a pick. Fuck, whatever.
but Kyler
and nails the Gatorade table.
Kyler and the Cardinals are going to be bad. They're going to stay bad. They're going to trade away D-Hop, which is going to be one of his best weapons. I mean, remember this whole thing? This whole thing was supposed to be
helping him.
This was going to be like Kyler Murray. This kid's got a hand cannon. He can throw a frozen rope 60 yards. And this kid was going to be the next great thing. And we all sat here and laughed because we were like, no, he's not. This kid's not only going to not be the next great thing, but this kid might not even make it to the end of his rookie contract.
He got made fun of more than any other first overall pick I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I know.
And it's never like people have not wavered on that. Like people that are still making fun of him
and rightfully
have made
so.
fun of him the whole time. They're like, we've never been wrong.
They roast him so bad. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't understand what they ever saw in him to like give him for him to go that high up, but I don't know. I mean,
listen, the kid's got an absolute cannon. He
Yes.
can throw the shit out of a football.
So
I'll
could
give
Kyle
him that.
Baller.
Kyle Bowler, Jamarcus Russell.
but isn't there like a few others that are probably like taller than him that can see the field better than he
Hey, Jamarcus.
can?
Tons of guys.
Hey, Jamarcus, what'd you learn
That
on
can
that tape
still
last
throw
night?
it like that?
Blitz
Oh
package.
man, I learned all the. I looked at all the blitz packages last night. Yeah, cool. That was a blank DVD, bro. Cool.
Yeah.
Glad to know.
Marcus Russell.
Good to know you looked. Good to know you looked at it. But I just don't understand. This is why bad teams stay bad. And you know what? Shame on the Cardinals for doing this, and shame on them for letting Kyler have a say. I'd say, like, I hope we get proven wrong because I am, like, a closet Cardinals fan. They've always been, like, my underdog NFC team.
I like the Cardinals.
I've always
I don't
rooted
hate
for them. Loved them when they had Jake Plummer and David Boston and Aeneas Williams. You know, like Simeon Rice back in the day.
David Boston, I respect the hell out of him, man. He's like, I'm gonna do steroids.
And
like
there's
the
nothing you can do
purest
about it.
form. And he goes, if you catch me, I'm gonna be pissed. And they caught him, and he's like, you better shut the fuck up. I've never seen a guy get caught positive and then threaten his own team. I loved it. I forgot who the head coach was at the time.
I mean, for a guy who only had, like, one good year, he really made a lot of
fuck
demands.
up.
Because remember that he went to the Chargers
he
and sucked?
looked like DK Metcalf today without any of the statistics.
But without any of the skills.
He's like, look at me.
He was just
All right.
he was a beast. It was like he wasn't really that fast. He wasn't really that good. He wasn't a great route runner. He was just an absolute. He looked like the pinup that like a 16-year-old girl would have on her wall. You know, like as a child, like as a kid, like.
I'm gonna pretend you're the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out, and maybe we can segue to this topic, and I don't mean to like jump
No,
ahead.
go ahead, because I was
But-
about done with Kyler Murray anyway.
But
Yeah.
Spent way too much time on that
The
midget.
world champion Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett, is at least 1 year older than the following quarterbacks in the NFL. At least 1 year
right?
This is
older.
one of my favorite stats, right?
Justin
Or
Fields,
Nuggets, I should say.
Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. He's at least a year older than almost half of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's crazy. Is he going to the NFL?
He's probably going to be another Chris Winkie if you remember Chris Winkie.
No, I don't.
Okay. Joey, remember Chris Winkie, Florida State?
Yeah, of
Won
course
the
I do.
Heisman.
Yeah.
He got drafted in the NFL at like 29 years old. He got drafted in like the 7th round.
Really?
Went to Carolina, and he was like, I don't expect to do much. And he was a backup quarterback.
He
got
was
paid
like, I don't know
ridiculous
why
money.
you took me.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
He was
Oh,
bald when they drafted him.
Wait, who isn't there? Who's the guy who's like?
Well,
the
Andy
king
Dalton
of,
was old when he got
No,
drafted
who's
too.
the dude who's the king of sitting on the bench? Is he on the Chargers right now?
No,
if
the
you-
backup in Seattle.
Yeah, if you say his
Are
name,
you talking about Clipboard Jesus?
Yes.
Charlie
Whitehurst.
Whitehurst.
Charlie White,
Yeah.
he gets paid like $40 million.
Clipboard-
No, he's made over $50 million for being a backup.
Just being a backup.
Clipboard
I'm like,
Jesus.
holy
But
fuck.
technically, you could do the same for Fitzpatrick. I know Fitzpatrick has
Clipboard
Fitzpatrick has
Jesus.
started multiple times throughout the seasons, but he's essentially been a career backup that just fills in all the time.
Yeah.
He's probably made 60, 70 million.
But Ryan Fitzpatrick actually had like starter talent. He could just never put it together for more than like 6 to 8 games a year.
So he'll be all right to find a
He went to
job.
Harvard, kid.
He'll be all right to find
He went
a
to
job
Harvard.
afterwards.
I swear to God, if one more fucking kid on Call of Duty says like, "Where are you from, Jersey?"
Ugh.
Oh God, Jesus
You
Christ!
should just say yeah.
Honestly, I was talking to Squeef earlier, and I'm like, I'm almost done with like going to game chat. I'd rather just hang out in.
Oh no!
I'm so sick of telling people to fuck off 8 billion different
Nope.
ways.
It's pretty much the only reason why I play the game.
Like we all just start running our mouths talking, man. Nobody can hear anything of what anybody's saying.
Don't
It's
care.
just-
Don't
I'm
care.
getting murdered.
There's literally like just one kid just screaming in the background.
Yeah,
Like,
and we're all
fuck
going,
fuck you, you
piece
fucking
of
piece of
shit.
shit,
Yeah,
fuck you,
we're-
you're a bitch. It's
Slap your
I
mother.
love watching
great.
adults playing against kids in virtual Among Us. And the guy like pulls out a knife, and the kid's like, "He's the killer!" And the guy's like, "Come here, shut the fuck up, little kid!" And everyone just screaming. They get back to they press the button. The guy's like, "It's him," and they all vote the little kid out.
Among Us was funny.
No, the virtual one is like so popular again.
I
Is
never
it? Yeah.
really
Yeah,
played
it's
it.
Is it?
virtual.
Was it on like the get
Must
on
be
the Oculus?
or something.
That's
Yeah.
like-
Sweet, I got
That's
an
the
Oculus.
imposter,
You must
right?
have it then.
I got
It's
it.
Among
free.
Us
Yeah.
is the little imposter guys.
Yeah.
Shit's mad sus.
So you walk around the thing.
Yeah, this guy's
But there's
sus.
so many
Guy's
people
sus.
because a bunch of little kids, like if a kid walks in the room, the kid's like, "Hey, you doing your task?" You turn around, you be like, "I'm gonna stab you in the face, bitch." And then people record it and go live, and it's like it's hysterical.
I might have to look that up because my wife broke out the Oculus because we kind of forgot we had it, and then Lauren broke it out on Sunday. She's like, "I'm gonna play with this today." She wanted to do Beat Saber, but like we haven't turned it on in so long. It needed like 42 hours worth of updates and like all this other shit, so she didn't get
Dude,
to
Beat
use it.
Saber is difficult.
It's Beat Saber is not easy.
No, it looks
I end up
difficult.
like sweating after I play that, and I'm like, yeah, like you're like, holy shit.
Is that like the what's that when you're cutting fruit?
you have to cut boxes to the beat.
Fruit Ninja.
Well, yeah, it's
No.
kind of like Fruit Ninja, same idea.
Ninja.
You cut boxes to the beat of a song that's on.
Yeah, same premise.
Like it tells you like
You
here's
gotta
the
put on
box,
like Lady
swipe
Gaga, and you'll be
down,
like,
swipe up.
and you gotta go like up, down, bing, boom, bop, boom, bop.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like pop, 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 hook off phase. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, holy shit. And then like different levels, there's more boxes. It's like kind of it's actually pretty rad. It's a sweet game. But yeah, we have an Oculus, so I gotta update it. So maybe I'll do that tonight for so that way Lauren can.
I'll send you
have
the
something
Among
to
Us
do
thing.
on,
You can
on
watch it.
Sunday.
I get one. I want to play that Spider-Man game where you can like slap the dude in the ass and balls and then shoot the frying pan into his face and shit.
Oh yeah, that game, dude. There's some
You ever
funny
seen
ass
that?
shit.
No.
on VR.
Oh my god.
What kind of
dude.
Spider-Man game are you?
It's like a
talking
virtual
about?
reality game, and it's like he's sitting there. And there's like a guy just like standing there, so he like kneels down, starts slapping him in the balls and shit, and then he hits him with a frying pan, and then he jumps off the bridge, uses like the web, and like circles back around, and then takes the frying pan and shoots it like, and it hits the guy, and then he comes back down and slaps him in the ass. It's hilarious, and then he kills him, and then he starts slapping him in the balls again. But it's just like,
I've never seen.
It's absolutely
You've
ridiculous.
Never seen those videos?
No, I've never seen that
it's
one.
It's
fucking
ridiculously
hilarious.
funny. No, we what were we just talking about? Oh, right.
National championship.
National championship. Right. So, all right, let's shift gears to college a little bit because this is actually one of the more semi-serious topics I wanted to talk about tonight. For a couple of reasons. One,
the
because
ball slapping.
after we get done talking about slapping guys in the balls virtually, it's what we do here. It's what we do. 774-992-8702. Phones are open if you want to call us. Let's talk a little bit about this national championship because last night was
God, it was terrible, dude.
that. Look, for all this talk about expanding the playoffs and all this talk about making it bigger and grander and 12 teams or 16 teams or 32 teams. Listen, this was the fourth largest margin of victory in FBS history. Not just championship games, like in general.
Right.
The fourth largest, and it happened in the championship game. Now, TCU had a chance last night to really make a case in favor of expanding the playoffs by at least making that game competitive. If they had gone in there and made that game competitive and played well and had Georgia on the ropes,
Right.
we could at least sit here tonight and say, all right, smaller programs have stepped their game up. They've they've gotten their shit together. They can now compete with the big dogs in the SEC.
Not even close.
Last night did the exact opposite. Last night should remove all and any credibility to anyone wanting to expand the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or even at this point, in my opinion, let's just get rid of the playoffs. Like, let's just get rid of it. Why do we even need it? Like, Michigan and TCU, that could have been a bowl game. And then we could have had, or we could have had, Georgia, Ohio State. That would have been the national championship or whatever. However it would have gone. Or Georgia, Michigan would have been the national championship.
I sent a video.
One
to the
versus
chat
two.
About
Because there's no reason to be like who the only team that was ranked outside of the top 4 that would have had a shot at Georgia was Alabama. And they snuffed them.
And Alabama was making a case saying, like, we should really be there. I know we have 2 losses, but trust me, we should be there.
But believe me, we took Georgia down to the wire. We took Tennessee down to the wire. We're the only team that can fuck with these guys. And then you go and put TCU in there, and it is just the worst case scenario. I mean, this was like a Manti Te'o versus Alabama beatdown. Like, I was to the point, I'm like, where's Brent Musburger? Where is he? When's he going to start hollering at somebody's girlfriend from in the stands?
Yeah, that was so
like we
bad,
got to that point in like the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even halftime yet, and we were like, all right, this is.
What was it?
This is-
It was 10-7 for a little while.
It was
4 minutes.
it was 10-0, then it was 7-10,
Georgia was just like,
then it was 17-7, and then that was it.
52 to
was it.
7.
And then it was
oh
52,
my God,
and the
yeah,
doors just
I know.
the
Listen,
wheels came off the bus.
I sent a video, if we can play it really quick, and this is the example of just Georgia playing TCU last night. This was actual footage.
Okay, hold on, I gotta get it.
Don't worry about it. You'll see it live.
I can see some of it right now.
But I can't believe just how badly that TCU should probably never be allowed to
And
play
you
in a
know what?
bowl
That
game again.
really drops fucking Max
But here's-
Duggan's stock,
But
I
here's,
think.
I don't think it does anything to Mac Duggan's draft stock. Look,
You don't think so?
no,
No,
because
it's not his
TCU as a
fault.
team was nowhere near well equipped enough to go up against a team like Georgia. I'm sorry. Like, people have to realize, in college football, there are Titans and there are everybody else.
Yeah, this
Yes.
ain't the miracle on fucking ice.
Georgia,
You know what I mean?
Bama, LSU every once in a while. Basically everybody in the
Clemson.
SEC. Clemson's the only ACC team that gets around to being, decent once in a while. But even they suck now. Like, that was short-lived. Ohio State, fucking love them or hate them. Ohio State is constantly in that conversation.
Michigan.
Ohio State.
Michigan.
If Ohio State and Bama, Georgia had played, if that had been the national championship game, that would have been one for the ages.
Yep.
And people are arguing, they're saying, well, the playoffs don't need to go away because we had, the 2 playoff games before the championship were great. Yeah, those could have just been standalone bowl games. Like, you could have just had back-to-back bowl games on Saturday night on New Year's Eve, and it wouldn't have mattered. Like, TCU didn't have to go play Georgia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have had Georgia OSU for the national championship, and that would have been a phenomenal national championship. Now, I get it. People want that extra game. It gives you that extra game. But more often than not, you're going to end up with the only way you're not going to end up with what we saw on Monday night ever happening again, and this will happen, especially if the playoffs get expanded, is you will have the final 4 teams in the playoffs be SEC teams.
Right.
It'll be Georgia, Bama, LSU, and fucking who cares? Insert Tennessee. And you'll be like, oh, it's look. We call this the SEC Invitational for a reason, because the SEC dominates the shit out of it. Auburn could flare up one year. Who knows?
Exactly. You need a team. You just need the dominant teams to just. I'm sorry, it's Alabama all the time, but they have dominant teams. Just the way it is.
Did you see the look on Nick Saban's face last night?
Yes.
When what's his name
Right.
was talking about how Georgia's now the new gold standard in the
I'll get
crown, and they're the crown, they're
He's like,
they're
"Wait a
the
minute,
creme de la
motherfucker."
creme. Nick Saban looked at him and shot him a look like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to right now? Like, good going, asshole. Like, as if Nick Saban ever needed more motivation to go out and win a national championship and bring Bama back to the promised land. My money is on Alabama next year.
Yeah.
Just based off the look he gave that man last night on the set during halftime. Like that's it. It's a wrap. It's over. Bama is going to win the national championship in
I'll put him on a
2023.
secondary bet, but yeah,
I sent it.
because
If
I'm betting on Oregon.
If you want to see Nick Saban's face in real time, I thought that was just absolutely ridiculous.
All right, here's the footage of Sean sent me. This is a insider look at the national championship game.
That's what it felt like, to be honest with you.
It did. I have never seen, like, I mean, we've seen blowouts in national championship games. Like, we saw Florida, kick in the dicks of Ohio State back in 2006 with Chris Leak, when Tim Tebow came in garbage time and jumped over the line for a touchdown, after Ted Ginn got hurt in the opening kickoff.
Yep.
Wow, Ted Ginn.
We've
Jesus.
seen, we saw Bama at Notre Dame, with that blowout, which Notre Dame had no business being in that game at all anyway. Everybody knew it, but they forced it because they can't have two SEC teams, even though it should have been. I think that was the year. Was that the year of
Mateo?
No, they did do it. They did do it one time where they put Bama LSU in the national championship game after the SEC after they had already played in the regular season. I think that was 2011.
Wow. Was it 2011? That was 12 years ago?
No, 99.9% sure.
Getting old.
Yeah,
So
it's
you had that,
crazy.
you've got that, and then
Let's go LSU. I miss that dude.
Orgeron.
Whatever the hell that dude.
Ed Orgeron, yeah.
Ed Orgeron for LSU.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, go Tigers.
Yeah.
That was the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
I know.
Fucking
Championship.
yeah. Well, who's the other one? Jamar Chase and
T. Higgins?
No,
that was
Jefferson.
Jefferson, thank you.
He's on his team
I'm
now.
like,
yeah.
the
That
Vikings.
team, man.
Justin
Jefferson,
Jefferson.
Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow.
I know. I said that. Like, I saw that the other day on like a clip. It was some like stupid meme or something like that. And it was like, just remember, this was an actual team. And I was like, wow.
Mhm.
And the
no
coach
shit.
and the coach on the sideline, yeah, we're gonna go Tigers.
I'm like, wow, that's fucking nutty, bro.
You knew that those guys were just so talented because the coach didn't speak English
Yeah.
at all. And the guys were like, listen, we're going to go out there. We're just going to
Fuck
launch it,
shit
all
up.
right?
Yeah. Just launch it, go deep. I got you.
We're too talented, and the coach is out there not making any literal words. Always sweating, no matter what time of
Always.
year it was.
And he was such a fun guy when he was there. Like, it was so much fun watching him coach.
Look at him now. He's in like Daytona and stuff like that every week, just sweating with his shirt off, like hitting on girls at the bar.
Yeah, he got fired. Like, that was
I know.
that was a big deal. Like, it was all like all of a sudden, like, talk about a fall from grace. But look at it. This is Nick Saban's look that he gave. I can't remember the analyst who was sitting to his left.
Rob.
It wasn't Danny Cannell. It was somebody else.
David Pollock.
David Pollock. And he looks.
Wow, actually, David Pollock, the old Bengal.
Yeah, the linebacker for the Bengals.
Holy shit, he's so tiny now. He lost like 70 pounds.
Dude, it's like Joe Thomas. You ever see Joe Thomas now?
No, Joe Thomas is ripped.
Yeah,
he
but
lost
he's
a lot
like,
of weight, but he was like a
he went from
bodybuilder.
like 320 pounds to like
220.
220,
Yeah,
210.
but he looks shredded.
But look at the look on Nick Saban's face right now. Like, this is how David Pollock is telling him that Georgia is now the gold standard
He looks
in college
pissed.
football,
He
and that
was.
they are the creme de la
He's
creme of the
so
SEC.
pissed.
That is the look of a man who is about to go win the next 3 national titles. Like, that man is fucking furious.
Who's the quarterback?
You just insulted him to his face. Now, why Nick Saban agreed to be on this broadcast, I will never know.
I don't know.
But
to make his point that you realize that Alabama should have been here, right? And he's like sitting there like, told you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, wow, look at that. Another touchdown by Georgia. Man, it probably wouldn't happen if Alabama was playing.
He's like,
You know, he just-
you see, he goes, did you see Bryce Young had about 487 yards passing like a week ago, right?
I
Just
like
throwing
that
it out
Max Duggan kid, though. I think he's got a lot of like drive.
Listen, the
He's
kid's
got
a-
a lot of
he's got
motivation.
heart.
kid's a
got
gamer.
hot,
He's a
dude.
gamer,
Yes,
for sure.
but he
He's got a
doesn't
hell of
have
heart.
tools.
He's raw.
He's another Mac Jones. He has heart. He has brains. But he gets the shit beat out of him. He doesn't have like the best instincts. I mean,
No,
the
but
strongest
he's
either.
got a cannon for an arm, which Mac Jones doesn't have.
No, Mac Jones doesn't have a cannon for an arm.
Not a cannon.
No,
Mac
right.
Jones doesn't. And listen,
His arm is
can
fine.
we just for the record here? Can we stop talking about Mac Jones's lack of a cannon arm
Oh.
as if it fucking matters?
By the way,
Tom Brady didn't have a cannon arm when he came in either.
you
It doesn't
develop
matter.
it too. Like your arm just gets like adjusted to that. Like,
Oh, it's almost like you get older, and then as you mature, you get stronger.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you think,
Right.
your body
you
like
forget
grows.
This kid's like 19, 20
So-
years old out here playing.
Like if I looked at
Can't
like
even get a drink
23-year-old me, which was
Oh, I
probably
can't,
in my opinion the best shape I'd ever been in. That was my peak when I was 23 when I played college football, right? That was probably the best, most athletic, in terms of doing everything I would be able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would whoop 23-year-old me's ass right now. I would embarrass 23-year-old me.
Right.
I'm so much bigger and stronger than I was at 23.
Well, you're not on your like technically we're declining as men because
Well, I've been
we're
declining.
rapid. Exactly.
I was already declining for 5 years when I hit 23 per science.
Right.
I thought men's peak was 27 or something like
18.
that.
26.
18.
Well, 26
18
is
for
when like your
puberty.
test levels start like dropping off.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, 18's your peak, and then
But I'm saying, like, if you had your brain now and you can go back
18
in time,
to 26, whatever. Sure, but I would have embarrassed, like, even 26-year-old me would have embarrassed 23-year-old me.
same thing. NFL veterans.
But this is why, exactly, but this is my point, is it's almost as if you mature and you get better and you get stronger and things happen that,
Your balls drop.
your balls drop a little bit more. Mac Jones still has a long way to go. So for all you Patriots
Mac
fans
Jones'
that are
balls
like
still gotta
fucking flying off the
I
handle,
have so
chill the fuck out.
I have
for
so many
5
people that
seconds.
I've written down, and I'm like, this person has hated this man. This person has hated.
Oh,
this man.
I listen. I have a whole folder full of screenshots.
I want Zap Attack.
I have
Get
a whole
the fuck
whole
outta here.
folder full of screenshots called "Idiot Football Takes," and believe me, a lot of you that listen to the show are in it.
put Zappy in.
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
It's the psycho.
No, Rob, how you been?
I don't know, man.
Well,
Right
you
now
have to
I'm
have been
stuffed
good. Your
up.
Falcons outperformed by a significant amount.
What, 3 games? 4 games?
Rise up.
Well, you said they were going to win 3. They won
5.
7. They were 7 and 10,
said
man. They were
5.
1 game out of the. If I told you, Rob, before the season started, your Falcons were going to come up 1 game short of the division title, what would you have told me?
No way, Jose.
Exactly. And yet here they are.
They have no players either.
Pissed. Fucking pissed.
I mean, I'm not saying it was a good season. 7 and 10 still sucks, but better
Bye-bye,
than
CJ Stroud.
you want CJ Stroud?
I wanted someone. Dude, I could have got out there and thrown more passing yards than Mariota.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the game.
I know, but I don't know. I don't.
What
Call
about
me a skeptic. I'm not a CJ Stroud.
who's the guy that played on Sunday?
Devin Ritter, QB from Cincinnati. I think he's one of the FBS.
Didn't you like him?
I did, but I wanted them to start
I
him
did.
sooner, not in the last 3 games of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he played fairly decent for you guys the last 3. No,
He did. But, yeah, he had like 220. He had 2 touchdowns, no picks. I think he was like 18 for 24. Solid game. Very solid game.
yeah. I mean, they averaged 20 points a game, just about.
So who's the Falcon MVP this season? Was it Drake London?
I want to say so just because the kid had like 73 grabs.
Because I can't even name you like another decent player. Like what's his name? The tight
Tyler
end.
Algier.
Cordell Patterson.
No. Cordell Patterson. That's right. He's had redone his whole career down there. But, the tight end.
Say
Tight end.
Patterson
He was
kinda
good
killed
last
it.
year.
Yeah, he's a solid.
Who's the tight end? I can't think of his. They drafted last year.
Kyle Pitts.
Pitts. What happened with that dude? He's like always hurt now.
Pitts.
Well, he's always hurt, but dude, when you average 16 passing attempts a game, it's you know what I mean? You ran the ball like 35 times a game.
They
Couldn't
just
stop anybody on defense.
they wanted the clock to just run. They're like, if we get down to the last 2 minutes and really force it to be a 2-minute game, we have a chance. We don't want to
Right.
play 58 minutes.
I mean, I don't even want to talk about Falcons, dude. I want to congrats Paul. I never thought I'd ever sit here on row 1, seat 1, where the Falcons, Broncos, Pats are out of the playoffs, and the Dolphins are in.
Well, Paul's a
No,
Colts fan.
He's a Colts fan.
Oh fuck! Oops.
I
I
think
was wondering if he was talking about a different.
I
I'm
th-
like,
I
I'm
thought he
like,
was going to congratulate you on your fantasy
I
championship
think it was on
Yeah.
fantasy.
because Damar Hamlin almost died.
No, that's what I was. Congrats on your fantasy championship. That's what I meant.
Oh,
It
thank
slipped
you.
my mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking
No,
of
I
someone
appreciate
else.
it,
My
bro, yeah.
bad.
He needed a player to almost die on the field for that to happen.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
FYI.
I mean, literally, if what'd you end up winning by 28 points?
yeah, about 28 points.
So this man goes in, he's up 38 points or 48 points going into Monday Night Football, and the other kids got Shadis has Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, and Buffalo's defense. Now, there is almost zero chance Paul wins this game if
And
this
I
game is
got
played to completion.
super fucking lucky because Justin Jefferson had absolutely like 0 fucking points.
Because Jair Alexander just bitch slapped him back into reality.
Yep.
Jair Alexander dominated
bro,
Justin
and
Jefferson
Justin
so
Jefferson
hard
is
that
no
he
scrub.
deactivated his social media.
Yeah, he had Justin Jefferson the day before, and then he had Jamar Chase, Josh Allen in the Buffalo's defense on Monday night to end the night, and I was only up by 28 points. Or 34, because I think Josh Allen got like 1.9, and so did Jamar Chase. They got about 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Plus whatever the defense
Speaking
was.
of fantasy.
Yeah, so it was kind of nutty. I mean, hey, winning's winning, man. It is what it is. And Shitty's put out a garbage lineup, and I just had a Super Bowl caliber team, and I just won fair.
The funny thing is Shadice's
And
team
that's
scored
okay.
213 points the week before.
Yeah. But he can suck it because I won, bitch.
Paul scored literally Paul scored 120 and beat Shadice 120 to 82.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable. I mean, listen, you did get lucky in a lot of ways that and that game was going your way to the first quarter. I'm not gonna lie.
T. Higgins was
everything it was Joe Burrow to T. Higgins. Buffalo wasn't really doing a whole lot.
Mixon was, they were putting Mixon in the mix, I guess, or whatever.
Bitch
Ah.
Mixon, Joe Mixon.
Solid.
Yep.
Solid.
It was kind of
Rich
nutty.
Mixon, Joe Mixon.
I'm just glad that he didn't have Buffalo's. I'm glad they didn't push the stats back to the week after because Buffalo's defense, Naheem Hines ran 2 touchdowns back on.
I think
was
the
like,
Buffalo's
fuck.
defense would have beat you
Yeah,
on their
alone.
own.
And then Josh Allen put up 30 or 40 points probably, and Jamar Chase had a 50-yard touchdown grab, and then 5 receptions for a buck, whatever it was. I'm like, holy shit!
Let me see what
he would have
I'm gonna
smoked
see
me in
what
the first
I
half.
would have won my league because I needed Jamar Chase to get 50 yards on a touchdown. I would have won my league, but whatever. It happens. It is what it is.
How do you guys feel about I know one of my buddies ended up getting screwed.
Because
He ended up winning the league, but the commissioner was pissed about that game that got postponed,
Too
delayed,
bad.
canceled, whatever.
Too bad. That's
So he changed the standings in the payouts.
all right.
So
I don't know. I don't know how
the
well you know the
was
commissioner.
in second place, and then he got bumped down to 4th place.
Wow, that's
And he's
dirty. That's garbage because
Right.
you can't
Right.
listen. We all get that what happened to DeMar Hamlin was something that's never been. Nobody's ever had CPR on the
Buffalo's
field.
defense scored
And it's a
28.6
tragedy.
points.
Nobody, but it is
Against the
it
Wrigley.
is a very real situation and definitely a scenario that is possible because we did see it
For
happen.
sure.
And everybody, I mean, anything can happen on the football field. You've seen that dude Everett from the Bills years ago when he was playing the Broncos got paralyzed
Week 1.
on the field.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett.
You saw Ryan Shazier. You've seen guys. It was only a matter of time before
Shit.
something like this happened.
Look, it
and
happened in Pittsburgh. Bain blew up the field. They had to stop the game.
True.
Yeah. But I'm
Hines
just-
Ward scored too.
But I'm
Too
just
on
soon,
a Hines
Matt.
Ward
John,
touchdown.
too
Yeah.
soon.
Of all things.
And
Well,
Hines
I'm
Ward
just saying,
touchdown.
This is a very
The greatest receiver of all
It's a
time.
very real scenario of football, and
Go.
it happened. It took place. They did what they did to rectify, the situation to make the season still stand as it should, I suppose, given the rules
Yeah.
that they have and all that shit. I mean, if you lost your fantasy Super Bowl because of that game, then guess what? It is what it is.
Hey, it
But
sucks.
you shouldn't go changing rule. You shouldn't go catering and switching shit up. As a
Honestly,
commissioner.
I mean,
to
we discussed it last week on this show, and Rob, I'm glad you brought it up because it was a legitimate discussion to have for a lot of fantasy commissioners. As the commissioner of my league, I've always prided myself on being as fair as humanly possible when it comes
Right,
to I don't vote on league issues because we have an even amount of guys in the league.
We need to vote
I
next year and
absolve myself from any votes, and I let the league vote on it. If there are any trades that go through. I don't get final say whether or not to approve them.
It's 4-5.
The trade happens. The trade happens.
Our
unless
league never trades.
if it's blatantly obvious that two guys are trying to stack a team, then we'll say something. But we've had 7 out of the same 10 people now for 15 plus years.
I'm still new technically.
You
I'm-
came in
I'm
like 2013, I think.
No, I came in
Yeah,
like
but still,
2015.
that's fucking 10. That's 9 years ago. At the start of the season.
Well, no, I came in like 2015. But Rob, I'm probably gonna get clapped on Facebook for saying this. But
Ooh.
I don't know if this is PC. But you and the other league members need to just go kill that guy.
No, I'm not even in the league. My buddy
Oh,
told me
okay.
about it because
All
he
right.
was in a different league,
Yeah,
and
no,
he's like,
that's a
the
garbage thing to
commissioner
do.
changed
Not really
the
kill,
payout
though,
because
Facebook.
he was in second place, and then he got bumped down to fourth, and
Yeah,
I
so
went
that's
to
a
the
conflict
championship
of
game,
interest
and
right
blah
there.
blah blah.
He's just flat
Yeah,
out
he
cheating.
just flat out giving himself more money.
Yeah, that's a conflict of
Right.
interest.
I mean,
He-
we
he-
discussed it
He
on
wanted
this show.
his money back.
We
because
we
because
discussed
of
last
what
week,
happened
Rob.
on the Bills field.
We discussed last week in my league because obviously the championship game was so heavily hinged on the Buffalo Cincinnati game.
Right.
I proposed potentially saying rather than having the first place payout be 700 and the second place payout be 300, splitting it 5 and 5, but Paul's name still goes on the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Fair.
I said, okay, maybe that's fair. But then as I bounced it off of people and I talked to people, and a lot of people all said, like, and my opinion of it was,
Maybe 6 and 4.
no,
Payout?
my opinion of it was this. Look, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You can't control injuries. You can't control
Right,
refs. You
right.
can't control any of that stuff.
This is just a
This
very
was just
severe
another. This
injury.
was an injury to a degree we've never seen, but it was an
Right.
injury, and it was something that was out of our control. And I think it was my wife that ultimately, and she said, she was like, "But he won." I said, "Yeah, if the game doesn't get played, Paul wins." And she's
It
like,
ends right there.
"Then he wins first place. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Period." And I'm like,
I mean,
He's
I've
shit on
seen,
the floor.
I saw other people too. I don't know if you guys saw it. They simulated the game. I know it's fucking it's Madden, but
I saw that too.
They-
the guy losing his
they-
mind.
yeah, they did. The guy caught it.
He's gonna throw it!
I saw it on TikTok. He caught it and then he fumbled it, and the
Yes.
guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
There
He's
was-
like, "He
there-
caught the
there were
ball!"
Other options.
He fumbles out of
imagine
bounds. and
imagine
loses.
that if you like if we came down to the league, like the final game of the league, we were like, you know what? We're gonna simulate the game on Madden,
Yeah.
and then
Wait,
we're gonna add
wait,
up the
wait, wait,
numbers
wait.
and do the stats and
It's
whatever
not-
it comes out to be.
It's they put the guys had the two fantasy teams, right? So whoever you had in your fantasy team, they just made up the teams on Madden and they put those two teams against each other. So that's how he did it. So whatever team you're
I
starting.
wouldn't have anybody playing. Well, not on that.
No,
not
the
in
whole
that.
team. The whole
Well,
team.
no, it was.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he
what?
would have had
Yeah.
Josh Allen. You would have had whoever you had as your quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, you would have Kirk Cousins. And they simulated the game. And the game came down to, I think the guy started Mac Jones as his quarterback, right?
Holy
And
shit.
Mac Jones threw the ball, and the guy caught it. He was like, "I caught it!" And then the guy fumbles it out of bounds, and that fumble cost him the game. And he goes, "I lost!" And like all within like seconds. He was like so excited and
Yeah.
devastated all at the same time.
That's fucking nutty to
But
be
I-
like,
but-
I'm just gonna
but
rely on
just
a Madden
in a wild
simulation.
instance like that, though, could that be an option where it's like, all right, you simulate the Bills Bengals on Madden out of just whatever, one game, 3 games, 2 games, 5, whatever.
Right.
You average out what your players on your fantasy team had.
For those
And then
3
just-
games?
No, one.
For one game. But he
It was
said
one
3
game.
games or 5 games.
Well,
whatever you
no,
have.
because you can play one game and it's 75-3.
He's saying best 2 out of
CPU
3.
versus
Like almost like
CPU.
baseball
Oh,
playoffs.
but you just take the average of the best game or whatever. All right.
Yeah, or
well,
whoever wins 2 out of
Yeah,
3.
if they play
Okay.
3 games and one guy had 3 catches, 5 catches, 4 catches,
That would,
all
that
right.
would be cool, but we don't
Average
have time
that
to do
down.
that.
Average that.
Those
down.
guys were like
Right.
19 years old, didn't have jobs, and all like barely went to school.
No, nobody's playing it. Nobody's playing it.
I know it's
It's-
computer simulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spectate it, so it's like you're watching it on TV, but it's.
I know,
it's
Rob.
just-
I don't have 3
Yeah.
hours to watch a video game, play a game in front of me.
Can
Well,
you hurry
Rob,
up on
no,
that shit?
hey, it goes way faster than that. My boy.
I mean, we got a meme here that pretty much describes what shows what happens. I mean, you know, this is what had Sean
Basically.
crying laughing last week
What,
during the
which one
show.
is it?
I put the one of Paul with the
Oh,
trophy.
yeah.
You know, Hamlin almost dies. Paul, like, I mean,
That's so fucked.
it's,
That-
it's so fucked up, but
fucked up.
it's fucked up, but it's funny as shit because
No, the one I made was Paul's in the room with DeMar Hamlin, and he wakes up, and he's like, "Did we win?" Paul's like, "No, but I did," and he holds up the trophy.
I just want to let everybody know that that's not what I was doing or
Of
thinking.
course you're not in the
Oh, my
hospital with him.
No,
God.
but I mean, like when that picture was taken, I was not thinking about like That was not what was said about DeMar Hamlin or anything like that, and me holding up the
Paul,
trophy
you're a
like that.
monster.
Yeah, I know.
You're a monster. You
Yeah,
need
Paul.
help.
Paul
There's
doesn't.
people
Paul
you can
doesn't want.
talk to
Paul
about
doesn't.
it.
Paul
You gotta
doesn't
make
want
that-
RG3 coming after him on Twitter.
Yeah, I
because of
know.
that.
You're gonna make that into a shirt.
Of all people,
Yeah,
RG3
yeah.
talking about.
How come he just got swept under the rug, huh?
RG3? Oh,
Yeah.
because he used a racial slur. I don't know, but he was out. We'll get into RG3 in a minute, but but no, Paul. You know, it took a guy almost dying for Paul to win.
But 15 years later, here I am, Super Bowl champion. It says it on my shirt.
Yep.
15 years later, man, you are like the Browns or like the Lions.
Yeah, Paul
Yeah,
joined this
dude.
league in 2006.
I was telling who the fuck was I talking to about like the medals,
God.
like you know how you get
Yeah.
like your draft grades, like when you've been in
Yeah.
the league for a
Yeah.
long time, you can go to the statistics.
Yeah, I'm
of, like,
platinum. Yeah.
I'm like people are like diamond and platinum. I'm
Yeah.
like bronze.
After 20 years,
Yeah, I'm bronze level with like a D plus grade.
they
like,
probably think you're
draft
special
out.
needs.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, this poor
yeah.
kid's got mental
I'm like,
disabilities.
I've made the playoffs.
I don't know what I am.
In 15 years, I probably made the playoffs, maybe half that.
I've
Well,
never even
it
looked
shows
at
how
that.
many Super Bowls you win across all your leagues if you do it on Yahoo.
Right.
I've won 13 Super Bowls. I never would have thought that.
I got one, and I've been in the playoffs probably like 6 or 7 times, and I'm
Someone
always
almost
like one
died
and
trying
done,
to
dude.
get that
I'm one and
That's
done all the
crazy.
time.
Wow, this is your first Super Bowl in about
Yeah,
40,
I
50
beat,
seasons.
Yeah, I beat Jaron, and then I beat you because your fucking defense almost screwed me, and then
hey,
somehow
it
I
happens.
made it. Hey, I beat Shadis with who's it? Derek Clark.
Yep.
I beat him with Derek Clark and that kid Graham. What's his name from the Jets as well?
Brandon Graham?
Oh yeah,
That's from the Eagles.
No. He's on the Jets. I beat him with 2 fucking people that had like a total of like 7 points each,
I don't
and
know.
they were and like fucking Clark doesn't even start. I'm like, wow, this is like a really. I'm like, how did I get to this? Like, why did I not think of this like earlier about like putting in like Kenneth Walker or something like that? But I got lucky. So better lucky than good, bro. You know, sitting here a first-time world champion after
Listen.
15 years.
So, I ran someone's fantasy league this year. From start to finish, I drafted. I did the whole 9.
Go on.
I finished 4-10 in a, I think it was a 10-person league.
Okay.
No one wanted to trade. No one did anything.
Garrett Wilson.
I finished in 4th place, based on scoring and playoffs and all that shit, consolidation round, all that jazz. Where was I going with this?
I don't know. You kind of got lost in the middle. I'm like, go on.
Uh-huh.
Look, I think it's the fact that I finished 4-15 or whatever the fuck it is now, but still finished 4th. Oh, that's what it was. I lost 5 games this year
That's not
because
much.
a kicker and a defense put up 35 to 40 points
Yeah,
a game,
that was me.
Yeah.
and I lost by
Paul
5
lost.
points or less.
Paul
in
lost
those
like
games.
2 out of 3 games to Sean this year because of the Patriots defense.
Fucking Patriots.
Because the Patriots defense just went off
They
against him.
put up 30 points every time I played them, and I'm like, you gotta be.
It happened in
fucking
the game I
kidding
lost
me.
against you too.
I
They
know.
went like 26.
Yeah, I was up by 35, and the Patriots defense put up 32, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" I'm like, "That was fucking." Goes
Every-
Matthew Judon with a sack. I'm like, "No, you have him as an IDP." I'm like, "Fuck, that's
Listen,
double."
everyone's season's over. I will give everybody Rob, you're on here, obviously. Everyone, I'll give my advice to that I've always told everybody. You draft guys that are in contract years. You draft guys without injury history. And you draft defense based on prior year statistics. Everyone says, oh, you're a homer for always drafting the Patriots. No, I'm not a homer. They're always top 3 or 4 in points every fucking season.
Never fails.
And it's special teams and defense included. And they're a monster with output. This year, they were a super monster with output for points on
Unbelievable,
defense.
dude. I couldn't.
But
believe
I'm
it.
telling you, I'm like, if you draft guys in contract years, my whole team in Joey's league this year was basically guys that are in contract years. My team was a juggernaut until the playoffs, until everyone got injured. Josh Jacobs
You know what's,
blew his leg out.
you know what's fucking wild too is like the last time I won was in 2012, and I won with DT and Eric Decker as my number 1 and 2 receivers in that year.
You just drafted the Broncos offense.
No, I had 2. I had both of them.
I mean,
You dick.
But they put up 50 points between the two of them in the fucking championship. So
Hell yeah, that would set you up right there.
worked
I
for me.
drafted Lamar Jackson.
That's all you needed this
And-
year until he got hurt.
And, yeah, okay. And Russell Wilson. I
Oof.
drafted Jerry Jeudy.
Ouch.
I drafted James Conner. I
I had
drafted
James Conner.
Cordero,
Patterson.
Joe Mixon, Najee Harris.
Najee.
Yeah, and Najee didn't put up more than 15 points until like week 15.
Oof. Yeah, it's a rough
Yeah.
hit.
So,
I know, man. I feel you on the slumps, man. When it comes in, like
It is tough. It is. It's tough, man.
it's hard to sit there and like I paid attention to the waiver wire a lot this year and like trying to like switch up my guys and like trying to go with like best
Yeah.
matchups and shit like that. And honestly, like it took till like literally like week 16 with like my defensive players when Sean was like, "No, you idiot! You don't look at this stuff. You look at this." And it was like sacks, tackles, like certain like points, like the way that they rate the
Yeah.
points. And I switched up a couple
So
guys. and it
through
ended up
Sean's
working out.
own advice, Sean created the Frankenstein, basically, because Sean told Paul how to play.
So you guys
Gave him the
split
advice he
the
needed,
prize.
and then Sean lost to Paul in the playoffs, and then Paul ends up winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
just-
all, it's luck.
The only because I'm sitting there
A
going.
lot of it is luck.
I'm sitting there going, "Fuck!" I just dropped Danny Dimes. Like I dropped him and I picked somebody else up, and then
Like,
he
who
goes,
cares?
and then he goes for 40.
I know,
he,
but
he dropped 40 points, and I'm
But
like,
were you
"Fuck!"
ever-
if
were you
I-
ever gonna start him?
40,
No.
dude? Are you shitting
Yeah,
me,
and I
guys?
dropped him, dude, and I had Kirk Cousins who got me like fucking 7 points. I was like, "God damn it!"
Well,
But like
Yo,
you said,
I
I was
started
never gonna
Kirk
start
Cousins
Danny
that
Dimes.
week too, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
The
Well,
only
it
thing
was
that-
a 1 o'clock game. There was no
The
reason
ol-
not to.
Yeah, the only thing that
Right.
benefited me was I was playing against Justin Jefferson, and because Kirk was having a shit game, so was Jefferson. So it like kind of canceled out. So I was like, whatever.
And then Jairi Alexander just doing the gritty in his
yeah,
face on the
yeah,
sideline.
hell yeah.
No, listen, I'm sick of that shit. People talking about Jerry shut him down and
He
shut
did.
his social media down. No, he did. But like, look at his career stats.
Of course.
Oh yeah, he just had a bad
But
game.
yeah, but Rob, it's a fact that he
Ugh.
got in his head so bad
Yeah.
from one game.
And he didn't know
Rob,
how to handle
imagine-
it either.
What do you
imagine-
mean in one game? He fucking dusted him last year and earlier in the season. He had one every wide receiver, great wide receiver, maybe not Jerry Rice, had that one
No, Jerry Rice
catch
had
for
his guys.
fucking 12 yards.
No,
I
but yeah,
mean-
but I think it's a lot harder, and I think it's a lot harder for a corner to shut a guy down for one catch for 12 yards than it is for that guy to go out and have like 6 for 79 and a touchdown.
But Jairi,
Oh, for sure.
I give credit to. He was doing the gritty in his face in the first fucking quarter.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan always
Right.
said.
Well, that was
it's
a big
easy to
third
talk
down.
shit.
Was it third down? That was a big third down play, though.
Yeah.
That he, like,
Yeah,
that he-
in the
and-
first
and-
quarter, though.
And he probably should have got flagged in today's NFL. I thought. I'm like,
No, but he wasn't
was
making
kinda
eye-
draped
if you're
on
making
him.
eye contact,
What
it's a
did
flag.
what did
Right.
Kirk do? What did Kirk do the whole game?
Eat shit.
Shit.
Suck.
Right.
Do
so
what
if
Kirk,
he's
me
being
off.
do what
fucking
Kirk
dusted,
does. Like,
if
Pissed me
he's
off.
getting dusted, QB hit, sacked, he's getting fucking no time to throw the ball. Like, what? Of course his receivers aren't going to do good.
yeah, I mean, listen, Kirk Cousins is
Did
Kirk Cousins.
Thielen ball out?
No, but Thielen hasn't done anything
Did
all year,
Osborne?
really.
Did
He-
Osborne
I'm sorry,
ball out?
Thielen had a really quiet year this year, right?
Thielen did not do a good
He did
year.
not have a great year, but I digest. It is what it is. But
Yeah, because it was fucking 45 targets to Jefferson, and you get fucking 20 to.
I mean, listen,
15 to 20
you
catches.
got to roll with the hot hand, Rob. You know, this is how it is.
No,
This is
you're
what it
right.
is,
You're
how it
right.
goes,
But it's
baby.
like,
You gotta
all right, the hot
matriculate the
hand
ball
has an
down the
off
field,
day
man.
because he
Rob,
went out.
There's a
and he
gleam,
fucked
man.
4 bitches in one night. It's different. He was tired.
Rob,
He was
It-
slinging dick in that bicho tasso.
listen,
Like,
Rob,
give the kid a break.
Rob, if you're online and you're playing Call of Duty or something like that, and every game you're consistently getting like nukes or like 20 kills or 25 kills, and you're just killing it for the
Oh
team,
yeah, no, it's because I'm using the UMP
whatever. And then
MP5.
and then one game, some kid comes on, he's like, "At night I dream of you," and he's like singing and dancing in your face, and you go like 2-15. Are you gonna delete the game, shut off social media, like delete? No, you just be like, "Oh, I had a bad fucking game."
Sean, you don't know me very well, do
What are
you?
you gonna?
He's like, I want to have a TV after that. Like,
It's true.
I broke my TV, my controller. I fucking hit my cat.
PS is gone.
Like,
It's fucking. in the
I
gutter.
popped my own tire on my vehicle. Like it was No, it would become a big process.
For one game.
He's like, you ever
Yeah.
swung a 12-pound sledgehammer
I
as
used to-
fast as you can?
I used to send.
I'm over here looking like Triple H, just fucking slinging a
To be fair,
sledgehammer
Yeah.
everywhere.
I used to send Rob the videos. I used to find out World Star of like Atlanta Falcons fans just destroying the house.
Man,
after
I knew
games.
it was coming.
No,
I knew
Rob.
it.
It's
As
not.
every
it's,
call, every
no,
call,
it's
every
not.
call. It gets
But
brought up somehow.
I love the reactions because you're like, I completely empathize with those people because you can see like insane this person's like pulls out a gun and shoots the TV 14 times. Like, what are you doing? You could have
Yes,
killed like
Sean,
3 people.
You're laughing because I can understand the pain that they have in their heart, and I can sympathize with that.
Listen,
Yeah.
if I'm
Thank you.
the last
You buy
person to
me
sit here and
tickets to Raw
criticize
in
somebody for
March,
doing
you
something
fucking
irrational
loser.
after a loss. So
Rob, hey, we're both at home. Our teams both suck ass.
all 4 of our
Mine a
teams
little
are at
bit more
home.
than yours.
Huh?
All 4 of our teams are at home.
Rob, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I said my team a little bit more than yours, but you're buying me tickets to Raw in March.
Is Raw coming in March?
I think it's the 6th.
You want to go?
Well, after all the remarks that you've made in the last 18 months about 28-3, I want
I've
front row
made
seats.
0
bud.
remarks about 28-3.
Does Rob want to go? Does the Pope make it okay for priests to molest little boys?
yes.
Of course he wants
Does
to
a
go.
bear shit in the woods? Like, come on, dog.
You should go to Raw
Shit.
too. Raw's fucking crazy. 3
I
hours.
went
Oh,
to-
is it too soon?
Is
The Pope
John
just
Cena
died,
gonna
didn't
be
he?
I went
that?
to Survivor
died?
Series
Didn't the Pope
War
just
Games,
die?
and I was on
Yeah.
TV,
Yes,
and
he
you didn't want to go. You didn't want to drop
Wait,
the money.
which
so
one? Oh, fucking Survivor Series? I couldn't.
Why not?
First of all, you already had bought a ticket, and you're like, just go. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sit by myself in like the fucking rafters.
Yeah.
Well, why would you sit in the rafters? There was all kind of seats open right next to me.
I'm sitting like
Until
3
the
rows
day
back. I'm
of.
like, I know that guy 3 rows up. I don't know. To
See,
me,
I wouldn't mind going to something like that, but I would definitely want to go to see like John Cena. But that's kind of pointless because you can't see him anyway.
well,
Mm.
well,
Ooh,
that
I see
Raw
what you
going,
did there.
Fair point.
Solid play.
Raw going,
But
Like that.
Raw in March. Is
Paul's
leading
got
up to
wrestling
WrestleMania
puns.
season.
What?
Raw in March is to WrestleMania season. So
wait,
that's
it's on
like
a Monday in
Right?
March.
So all the
Obviously,
shows
right,
are
Monday Night
crazy.
Raw.
All the,
I'd be
all
down
the
to go.
top
I'd be
guys
down to
are
go to
out.
Raw in March.
Was it TD Garden?
Yeah, yeah,
I'll-
it's in
I'll
the
look-
garden.
I'll look up- let me look up
I'd be
tickets.
down to go to Raw.
It
Paul, you
is
want to go to
fun.
Raw?
It's fun as shit.
It's on a Monday. We know we have it off.
I gotta request all kinds of time off. Fucking sucks.
What do you mean, bro? You have fucking you have 2 months, 2.5 months to request.
I
it
know,
off.
but I gotta request it off. I'm saying.
So and then
You're like,
and
oh
then
my God,
Sean's
it's
gonna
a
have to
big
work the next day,
process.
so he can't get too whooped up. So
We
we can go
might
get
see you
shit
tomorrow,
faced.
by the way.
fucking
That's
put
fine.
in a personal day, doc.
Yeah,
Shut
seriously.
up.
I have no fucking staff, man.
Yeah.
All you
it's
gotta do.
hard.
Hey, listen. Hey, it doesn't matter. They can't deny personal time.
Listen,
You put it in on Tuesday.
I'm the guy that's
And-
putting in the personal time though, because I'm the one that approves it too.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
You're
So
all
you
the
so you
problems
just
that you
told
think
us
you
there's
have, you
absolutely
can
no
solve 'em.
reason why you can't go.
I know, right?
exactly.
Uh,
He's
the-
like, fuck.
all right, no, I'm not.
Listen,
What do you want to sit? Hard
So-
cam side?
No, get the best seats you
I
can
want to
get,
sit.
bro.
I want to sit where the camera faces. That's where I
Yeah, that's
sat
hard
for.
cam.
I don't know what the hard cam.
He's
I
like,
just
I
look.
want to sit where I can feel Trish Stratus squirt all over my face. with
Dude,
the
she
ring.
hasn't been around in like 15, 20 years.
I don't
Whatever.
Know. Yeah, well, I don't know.
This
I
guy-
want to
Hey,
know where I can feel the
this guy
heat off of
gets
the
it.
new Trish Stratus's snapper.
I'm an Alexa
It's
fan.
it's actually Trish Stratus Psy. It's like cactus. It's cacti.
Whatever. Is Trish Stratus going to be there?
Jesus.
I'm in.
Floor tickets are $650 a piece. What
Okay,
the fuck?
I'm not spending.
I'm not-
$650.
No, I'm not sitting floor. I where I sat, Loge. I think it was 20.
Loge.
Loge.
Lodge.
Robert
whatever,
Loge.
It's Loge.
Yeah.
You tell me how you say it.
Elephant.
Lodge.
Lodge.
Loge. That's not how you spell lodge. Lodge is Louge. That's lodge.
No, Lodge is LODGE.
It's LODGE.
Guys, listen. We're not talking about American fucking English because it's terrible. All right.
You spelled Logie.
Logie.
Loge.
All right. Where I sat was
Robert
Loge.
Loge.
I think it was 21. And I was right
$31?
there.
31.
Right there.
Where's 31? I'm looking on it right now. There's
21.
no 31.
21,
Oh,
sweetheart.
21.
What arena is this?
21.
It's TD Garden. 30. It's only $97 a ticket, but you're not in front of the camera. You're back right to the ring, but that's like right in the side of the stage.
Honestly, look, I went to Backlash and I went to Survivor Series. I don't care where I sit, Doug.
The seats aren't bad. $90 a ticket is not bad.
No, that's
$90
worth
a
raw.
ticket's dirt cheap.
Right to the left is
Is
390.
is T-Bar going to be on this on the?
Do they have
No,
like,
he's in NXT
hey, do
right
they
now.
have like
T-Bar?
club seats? Do they have like club seats?
Yeah, they have club seats.
Like,
Dude,
I know
I'm
that-
not paying $1,000 to go see
I'd
Raw.
rather-
Damn,
Yeah.
Paul got money, bro.
Yeah,
Holy
but
shit,
no,
he
well,
won
what I'm
that
saying is,
championship, and
if
he's
you're
like,
gonna-
"Yo,
what if we
let's
put it on the
drop
Row
this
1C
on
account?
Sunday."
If you're gonna spend the money to go and you want to watch the show and like enjoy yourself, you're going one time. You might as well get ballin' ass seats up in like a nice club spot where you get drinks,
Going
food.
one
you
time,
can chill.
bro.
Exactly.
I went twice. I had tickets to go 3 times last year. I got COVID in January. I couldn't go to the
shit.
first show. And then I went
Pussy.
to 2 pay-per-views last year. This isn't a once
See,
in a lifetime thing.
I go to like one NFL game per year usually, and that's
If
why
that.
and that's why we get
Ro-
like the
Rob-
Anthem lounge.
Rob,
and shit
Joey,
like that,
Joey
but-
knows and has played in the same football team as T-Bar. That's why he was asking.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. But he's on NXT.
Yeah, he's in NXT.
I know, but maybe he'll get like a call up to Monday Night Raw that night.
Maybe a dark.
He might, dude. There's plenty of
Is,
time for it to
is
happen.
NXT like the farm league of?
It
like,
is.
Yeah.
It is. Is
Yeah.
that what they
The
would consider it? Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, I never thought of it as the farm league. I just thought it was the developmental brand.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
that's,
it's
what,
a farm
that's what a
league.
farm league is.
Yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
know, but
I didn't know that.
farm league's different. It's like I think of baseball when I hear farm
Right,
league.
right.
You
Well,
know
that's
what
where
mean?
I get the term from,
That's-
obviously. But
That's
yeah.
Triple A WWE.
Potato NXT.
Triple A.
Whatever.
Don't
Yeah,
disrespect
yeah, I
Triple A, bro. Them luchadors are crazy.
Yo, those guys are a little nuts. Those guys drinking tequila and like spitting in a
Those
woman's
mud
face.
those mud ducks are wild.
No, they do some crazy shit in
Mud
Mexico.
dog.
Like,
Is that
Oh,
the
yeah.
cane when he
Oh,
was like
yeah, the
slapping
Mexico
people with,
ones-
like,
the
barbed
Mexico
wire
dudes are
bats and
crazy.
shit?
No,
No, that
no.
was in Japan, right?
Well, Mexico's just crazy
no,
in general.
Mexico,
But...
they like sexually assault women in the audience, and it's like live.
Oh wow.
Rob, thanks for the call,
Hey.
bud. We appreciate
They're
it.
cool with Hey, as always,
cool
fellas,
with it.
thank you.
We'll
Via,
talk to you soon. Congratulations
Later,
on your
guys.
7-10 season. I know that
Yes.
was much better than you thought. So,
Yep.
In my 4th place in fantasy. Thank you.
Hell
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah,
yes.
I appreciate the
Later.
love, man. Thank you,
Later.
bro.
all right, bud.
Later, guys.
Later. 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. We've got so listen, we covered college football, we covered fantasy football.
Rogers.
We got to get
Not
to
Rogers. I'm sorry. I'm Murray.
we covered Kyler Murray. Let's talk a little bit about this A-Rod getting retired thing. Do you want to sprucies?
Yeah, I'll go.
You want to spruce real
I was
quick?
gonna think that,
So, who said this? Was this on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah.
Was this the Pat McAfee show? 'Cause
No, I don't
missed
even
it.
know where this rumor really kind of started. It started when Sunday night
It had to be the Pat show. though.
after when A-Rod was walking off, and he had his arm around what was it?
Susie Culver.
No, the receiver.
I'm joking. Lazard.
Fuck, I can't remember. who it was.
I didn't see the
He
game.
had his arm around one of his. No, the guy who they brought back.
Cobb.
Randall
Randall
Cobb. He had his arm around Randall Cobb. I think it was Randall Cobb. I'm pretty sure it was Randall Cobb. And he had his arm around him, and they were like kind of talking like to each other. Like it was a very odd way for them to leave the field after a loss, and people began speculating that, hey, look, this could be it for Aaron Rodgers. He might hang it up and retire after this year. And then all of a sudden, that story just exploded and took off Monday morning. I haven't heard anything on the national level. I haven't listened to anything because I don't want my opinion on this show to be tainted by what other people are
Skewed.
opining. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is done.
don't
I
so
think the
either.
run they went on at the end of this season, while it ended in disappointment, I think it's always easy when a year ends like this to people to be like, oh, that's it.
I don't think he cares for his
That's
coach
it.
either. They have a very contentious relationship.
Could you see Aaron Rodgers be maybe traded?
Listen, I was talking to my dad before I came here
Because
tonight.
that would make zero sense to me from a Packers standpoint.
know.
Because they could have just done that
Years ago.
Last year.
But they have to make a decision with Jordan Love because Jordan Love, I guess, gave an ultimatum that says, hey, if you're going to keep Rodgers, can you trade me this offseason so I
Right.
can have a chance? That was a very polite ask. I get it. Hey, if you're going to keep Rodgers, totally understand. Can you trade me so I can have a chance somewhere? I want to play in the league.
right.
Now, if Rodgers kind of wants to leave, he's aggravated about the offense, about the players, about his team, maybe you let him go. My dad brought this up on the phone to me. My dad says, hey, do you think there's a chance the Patriots would be interested? And I said, listen, the only way I think the
Of course
Patriots...
they'd be
I
interested.
think the Patriots would be interested if Robert Kraft pushes for it because that's not like a Belichick MO to go out and get an
No,
old
that would
quarterback.
not be. That would have to be a Robert Kraft move.
That's what I mean. So if you see something like that this season, but Rodgers, you could plug him in any team that needs a quarterback, and that team's instantly great.
You would assume so, yes. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe
It's
not,
not.
Maybe not Jeff Saturday Colts.
But the thing is like, I would have loved Aaron Rodgers to have been a Denver Bronco this year because we'd probably be playing this weekend if he was. I mean, I know we would be because him and Hackett would have been able to figure it out a whole hell of a lot quicker. Now, Hackett was a terrible head coach, and it turned out he was a terrible head coach, but Aaron Rodgers would have made up for that in a way that Russ couldn't,
Big
between
time.
the offensive line, the injuries, and injuries to Russ, so on and so forth. I mean, who knows? Maybe A-Rod gets hurt too. But I'm looking at it like this. If Derek Carr is available for a price of, say, a first and a third, and A-Rod's available for a price of a first and a third, and you're the New England Patriots, the Jets, I don't know.
Oh, my God. Please don't send Rodgers to the Jets.
Let's say the Colts are going to be in on this.
I think the Colts would be, for sure.
Who are you taking? I mean, I'm going Derek Carr 10 out of 10 times. If all things being the same price-wise, yeah, give me the guy that's going to give me 5 to 10 years versus the guy that might only give me
3?
2 to 4.
Yeah, but it's a quality 2 to 4.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, even at this point, is still a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
Yes.
But how much do you value the length of time that you're going to have that guy? Because I don't think Carr is that far behind A-Rod. He's a tier or two below him. He's not an elite. Carr is good. Let me put it this way. Carr is above average in the NFL. But Carr isn't elite.
No.
Elite quarterbacks are Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. It kind of ends.
According to Miami fans, Tua.
Miami fans, yes, they have their opinion on Tua, which is hilarious. But I'm just thinking like Drew Brees, was an elite quarterback at the time. There is not a lot of thank you, sir, elite quarterbacks in the league, and that's not a knock on the guys who aren't. It's just saying it's more saying that the guys who are that much better. They're that much above everybody else. So it's a very difficult thing, but I think, like, to me right now, like the perfect landing spot for Carr is Indianapolis. I think if you go with, let's say the Colts say, fuck it, we'll give New Orleans a first and a third for Sean Payton.
We're gonna give up the 4th round pick.
But you don't have a first this year?
Yeah, we have fourth round. Number 4 pick. We have the number 4.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be this year's number 4. Or you could give him a second. Say, hey, look, it's the 4th overall pick in the second round. Or maybe you trade back and you make the. I don't know. It's.
I was reading something from Indy Star or one of the insider Indianapolis
Which-
local news spots where they said that basically Irsay is sick and tired, which is why Frank Reich got fired. And I don't know if Chris Ballard's on his way out, but basically Irsay is tired of trying to take. And I don't mean this in the sense, but trying to polish old turds. You know what I mean? Revitalize old charisma.
Right. We're not trying to take Phillip Rivers in his twilight year, Matt Ryan in his twilight years, Carson Wentz, who just hasn't been good for 5 years.
Or 5 years or whatever. 6 years
hasn't been
in,
good in 4 years.
Ever.
He was good that 1 year until he got hurt.
I don't agree.
Carson Wentz was going to win MVP the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
And it would have been a sham.
Honestly, I don't know if they would have won the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz.
Probably
but
not.
I don't want Derek Carr. I don't want.
Imagine that Brady had 8.
A-Rod. I don't want Brady. I don't want any of them guys. I want somebody new.
Blow my fucking brains
I want
out.
to draft a good quarterback.
You want Brian Young?
But see, if I'm in Indianapolis, I would much rather have Derek Carr at this point than say go try and draft a CJ Stroud
Like Bryce Young or CJ
or
Stroud.
Bryce Young.
Or
I don't want
Max
honestly.
Duggan
I don't want any of those guys, to be quite frank.
I'd take Max Duggan.
I wouldn't.
Nah, later in the rounds, not first.
Not fourth overall.
4th overall, but I would take
4th
him,
overall for Duggan feels a lot like 1 overall for Wilson, for Zach. That feels like a Zach Wilson reach,
a big reach, yeah.
like a Paxton Lynch style reach.
He's not going to be he shouldn't be a first round.
Baker
He's
Mayfield.
going to be an end of the first round guy because
How
because
about
of the hype.
Baker, brother Baker, the touchdown
No,
maker?
I wouldn't mind Baker coming over
Because
and
I feel like he's still young enough where if you got the right coach and the right
And he's
situation
got
around
some
him, I feel like he could
experience.
play well.
He might be in L.A. because Matt Stafford might seriously consider retirement.
But if McVay goes away,
then Baker would have to stay because they have no quarterback. and
But if I'm
everyone's
Baker, I don't even know if I want to stay in LA if
gone. Well,
McVay
he still has a
retires.
contract.
He's under 1 year, isn't it?
I thought he still has another year to go.
No, I think he can be gone after this. I'd have to look it up.
Or something, yeah.
But all right, maybe it is 1 year and he's out. But like, I'm not signing an extension with them unless I get a decent head coach because McVay would be the only the most appealing thing to Baker staying in LA is that he would have McVay as his head coach.
Right. And too bad Miami won, so that way
Everybody
McDaniels
gave me
can
a
get
shit.
fired.
Everybody gave me. And by the way, I want to just say to everybody who gave me a bunch of shit last year when I said that McVay was on looking at the door and that McVay might not be the coach of the Rams come opening day. I told you so.
Mm-hmm. We all said it.
No.
No, here.
We said it. We knew it was
Right,
a real thing.
Yeah, well, I remember hearing
But
about.
I got a lot of shit from the outside of the show.
Yeah.
People telling me I was fucking crazy.
Well, they're idiots.
There's
Just-
no way. They just won the Super Bowl. There's no way he's leaving. No. Those were real. That was real. There was a very real possibility that Sean McVay walked away at the end of last year with him and Aaron Donald walking off into the sunset.
Exactly.
And then they decided to say, fuck it, let's run it back. They didn't get better in the offseason, which what do I always say about teams that win it? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And what did the Rams do? I mean, granted, they were the second most injured team in the league.
Right.
Only second to Denver. And they didn't. And now you've got McVay sitting there going, you know what? I think I might be all set.
$30 million too.
I'm pretty sure there was in-game reports last year, like during the playoffs and the Super Bowl and
There
shit
was.
like that, of like Lisa Salters or whatever saying like
Yes.
McVay's on the fence
And
coming
Aaron Donald
back
too.
already. Yeah.
And Aaron Donald, he was like, yeah, I
They-
might turn it off too.
Who talked? Somebody had to talk Aaron Donald into coming back,
It was McVay.
and I think it was McVay because
said-
McVay was like, "Fuck it, let's give it one more year."
He said, let's run it back one more year.
and see how it goes.
And the whole team
Right.
fell apart.
McVay was definitely on the fence. Like, anybody who doesn't know that just clearly
And-
doesn't watch
And
anything
Les
sports
Snead is
related.
watching his team just sweating, and he's like, "I have no draft capital. I have no cap space. I have no coach."
He'll just rebuild it.
I mean,
blow the
it'll be
place.
it'll be
They
shit
don't
for
care.
a
It's
year or two,
LA.
but who cares? The fans will go away, but as soon as they're good, the fans will come right back.
Yeah, it's LA. Exactly.
Typical LA. 774-992-8702. Give us a call if you want to get in on some of this action. We talked a little bit about, obviously, we did college football. We've done, what else? We've done college. We've done Kyler. We've done A-Rod.
Fantasy
Black
shit.
Monday.
Let's do a little bit of
Black
Black Monday, and let's get into some celebrations.
Kingsbury canned.
Yeah,
Lovey
so
canned.
Lovey, that's fucked up.
why?
Dude, 1 year, and you have a shit team.
You realize that Lovey was brought in, right, as a guy because he was the only guy available to the Texans. The Texans didn't want to overpay for a coach. They knew it was going to be a one and done. There was nobody out there that they wanted. And all right, I'm
still
glad
kinda
you brought it. But why though? Davis Mills regressed under Lovey Smith. At least under David Culley, Davis Mills showed signs and showed promise of being a decent player. And the Texans showed signs of being a decent team.
Right.
Under Lovey Smith, they got collectively worse.
They got worse.
They got worse.
Fact.
If Lovey Smith had come out and gotten this team to 6-7 wins, and they'd been competitive in a bunch of games, yeah, I think Lovey Smith is still the coach. But this is a guy that was fired from the Bears, went into the college ranks, came back out, tried to coach in the pros again, clearly doesn't have what it takes to coach at the NFL level anymore, and is being fired again. And you've got RG3 and Stephen A. Smith immediately pulling the race card. Oh, he got fired because because black man was set up again to fail. And it's like, how many guys around the league are set up to fail? Head coaches are set up to fail. Do you really think the Texans were like, okay, we're going to hire a coach. We know he's going to fail, and we know we're going to fire him next year. Just make sure he's black. Like we don't want to do that
Nothing
to
to do with
we
race.
don't
You know
want
what?
to do that to a white guy.
Let's fuck
We don't
this
want to do
guy
that to a
right
white
here.
guy. So
Yeah,
let's take
fuck
Lovey
this
Smith,
guy.
a well-known, well-loved, well-respected member of the NFL coaching fraternity, and let's fuck him.
Right.
Like, do you
That
really
was
think
definitely
that
what
was
they
the?
were set
Do you
out to
really
do.
think that was the fucking thought process
Idiots.
in the Texans front office when they were just like, who can we fuck that will piss
They
everybody
gave
off?
him a job for the year, knowing that it was going to be a one and done quick. They gave him a couple paychecks. Thank you for coming in and doing what you needed to do.
Or maybe they said, listen, if you can turn this dumpster fire around, we'll give you an extension.
Fuck yeah, of course.
He didn't turn the dumpster fire around. You know what? They said, hey, look, you were coaching a dumpster fire. We get that. But you let the dumpster fire remain a dumpster fire. We didn't see – actually, we saw the dumpster fire get worse under you. than it was last year.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and move on because obviously this isn't
We're
going to
gonna
work.
go ahead and hire Jim Harbaugh. So thanks.
Like, Jim Harbaugh would never go to Houston.
No, you don't think so?
Not a chance.
No, God, no.
No,
I
Jim
think-
Harbaugh is staying in Michigan.
Yeah, he's not coaching NFL next
He's
year.
using the Broncos right now as leverage against Michigan to get more money to stay there.
He's getting $10 million, isn't he?
From Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
fucking-
if the Broncos come out and offer him $20 million, he's gonna go back to Michigan and be like, you better come close.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. $10 million a year.
How long
is,
has it been since he coached NFL?
See, he was 2015?
2008? Oh, wow.
Was he gone in 15? Because 14 was the year that he.
2012, right? Because he was the last year with Kaepernick in the Niners, right? 2012. The Niners Ravens.
Well, no. 2012 was the year they went to the Super Bowl. 2013 they lost the NFC Championship, and then 2014 was when the wheels started coming off the bus.
Oh, he left a couple years after that one.
I think he left after the 14 season, if I'm not mistaken.
Why do I feel like? he's
Yeah,
been
because they went to Jim Tom Sula in 2015.
Yeah, I feel like
Remember
Harbaugh's
Jim
been the
Tom
coach of
Sula,
the
fucking
Wolverines
what's
for
his name's
years, dude.
lead pipe lock of the week, the fucking Jersey guy there, the lead pipe lock of the week, the cartoon.
No, I don't remember that at all.
No, you don't remember that? You don't remember that cartoon?
No.
It was like Sal's lead pipe lock of the week or whatever it
I
was.
don't remember that.
No.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Look it up. Look up lead pipe lock of the
I'm
week
looking it up right
cartoon,
now.
and you'll know exactly. And then the guy looks exactly like Jim Tom Sula. But yeah, no, his last season was 2014. And then he went and took the Michigan job in 15.
I feel like he's been there for so much longer, dude.
Well, that's the thing though. It feels like it's been that long, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying now,
Aqua
right?
Teen Hunger Force?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know you were talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force. All right.
Let me see this picture.
Hold on. I just clicked out of it by accident. I put Mead the pipe. This guy.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
That's
that-
Jim
that-
Tom Sula.
The hairy ass neighbor.
Yeah.
Now look up Jim Tom Sula and tell me he doesn't look just like him.
Yeah, let me see the comparison here, because I can't remember who that is.
Or at least in 2015, Jim Tom Sula looked like him. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he just got a shirt on.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit more hair.
That is the Beta underneath. That
Yes.
white shirt
Yeah.
is the Beta.
Right,
The
that's
gold
what I'm saying.
chain.
See?
That's too funny.
What was that guy?
Oh,
What was the
yeah.
guy's name? Was it Sal?
Oh, God. I don't remember his
Just
name
hit the
at
back
all.
button and just
No, I don't have a name. I looked up Lead Pipe Stone Cold Lock of the Week.
Yeah. Just what was the guy's name?
I don't know. I mean,
But anyway,
Sean
Carl.
Payton, Sean
Carl.
Payton's
Carl's
got-
lead pipe
did Sean
lock of the
Payton
week.
interview with the Broncos yet?
No, yes, I think the Broncos requested. They've interviewed
Sean
or are
Payton.
going to interview Sean Payton,
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh, D'Amico Ryans.
Mayo, which I'm shocked they're bringing in Mayo. Mayo's not ready.
Mayo's there just to round out the interview numbers. He's not getting the job. They've interviewed. Who else have they interviewed? Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, D'Amico
That wouldn't
Ryans,
be a bad
Harbaugh,
fit.
Payton. There's like two more that they've interviewed too that were like, nah, like
Dan Quinn wouldn't be bad.
listen, it depends on who the OC is going to be, to be quite frank. But look, Jerry Rosberg did, a guy who came out of retirement. Nathaniel Hacken brought Jerry Rosberg out of retirement to be his advisor, to be his like, hey, don't call the timeout, or hey, call the timeout. You know, basically what I said I should be doing. Just put me up in the booth and be like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys want to probably call a timeout. You know, that would be me. That would be my job. And I guaranteed, at least I would still to this day guarantee any NFL team that wants me as a just sit in the booth and just chime in every once in a while in certain situations, I will guarantee you I will make at least 2 calls per year that will guarantee you 2 wins. 2 wins. I will save you from yourself at least 2 times. Guaranteed. And I'm not even going to ask for a lot of money. I just want FaceTime, camera time. That's it. That's all I want.
Just give me FaceTime.
But Jerry Rosberg came in to be that guy, took over the team with 2 weeks left, and look at the turnaround you saw in Denver. They take the Chiefs to the wall. You know, they almost beat the Chiefs in Rosberg's first game, in his first game coaching them. And then they go and they beat the Chargers. And they scored 27.5 points a game in both of those games. Russ looks like Russ. I mean, Justin Simmons, for Christ's sakes, fucking led the league in interceptions this year.
Right.
Yeah, I'm shocked with that.
I mean, it was a slow year for interceptions, but
I know, but I was like,
those-
I love Justin Simmons, but I was like,
he had 6 picks, and he missed 5 games. Imagine if he'd played all those 5 games. He would have led the league by himself. He wouldn't even have to tie for it. So you get this guy that comes in, like, look at that's what the difference is with coaching. Like, You had Nathaniel Hackett, who was clearly just way in over his head. Good guy, great OC, way in over his head as a head coach. Jerry Rosberg, a guy who was brought off the couch to come in and just be an advisor, takes over the team for 2 weeks, and immediately the offense, despite all the injuries and all the bullshit, starts to look like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for all year. And this is with no Tim Patrick, no Javonte Williams, no Garrett Bowles. Our offensive line's in shambles. Russ has been much maligned all year. And all of a sudden, they had the number 1 red zone offense in the league the last 2 weeks of the year, and they're averaging almost 30 points a game? What? With a guy who was on the couch in September, like running the team, like, okay, that just goes to show you. I don't think the Broncos need Harbaugh or Payton. I think if they brought in like a Dan Quinn to kind of be like a John Fox, just kind of okay, steady the ship. Let's get some decent coaches. Keep Double E as our defensive coordinator. Bring in Cliff Kingsbury as the OC. Let him and Russ go fucking chef it up and have some fun. You know, and then all of a sudden you're going to get all these guys back in Denver. Denver is going to go worst to first next year, guaranteed. Write it down right now. I'm telling you right now. Before the playoffs even start, Denver will go worst to first in the AFC West.
There's no way they can be as bad as they were this year.
Not even close. There's not. It's not even plausible or fathomable to think that they'll even be this bad next year. Now, obviously next year's a new year, but I'm going to say right now, Denver's going worst to first. They knocked the Chiefs off in the AFC West, and all is right in the world. Oh, and I'll add one more thing. Russ is going to win the MVP next year.
Whoa.
Comeback player, I say he'll win.
If he doesn't win MVP, it'll be comeback player of the year.
I think he'll be comeback player because there's no way he can play that bad.
No, not again.
I think Russ goes off for 40-plus touchdowns next year. You give him a Jerry Judy, Colton Sutton, Tim Patrick.
40 and 5
Can
anyway.
Can I say one thing? Do not fucking put any PR stuff out with him. No more videos of him saying like the green screen, like Broncos country.
Oh no,
all that,
I want all that. I want it.
That
I
shit was so
want that.
demoralizing.
No, you know what though? The thing
you
is,
think that played a part?
No, it didn't at all.
It was demoralizing.
To constantly see it.
It wasn't demoralizing. It was cringeworthy for people to
video
watch.
on the
but
plane.
it didn't affect anybody inside the locker room.
The video of someone making the plane ride Broncos country. That's
Doing
right.
the
And he's doing
jumping
lunges
jacks.
and doing jumping jacks.
I love it. I love the cornballness that is Russ Wilson. Like I love it. I adore it. Listen, he's my quarterback, so it is what it is. But if we end up with like Sean Payton, I don't want to give up the draft picks for Sean Payton. Jim Harbaugh, I mean, yeah, his winning percentage, he's got like a almost 800 winning percentage in the NFL as a head coach.
He sucks, it seems like.
But
how do you go from how are you
I
so
don't
good in
know,
San
man.
Fran, so bad in college, and then come back to the NFL and expect greatness? I don't understand.
I'm just, I don't think a retread of Jim Harbaugh is what I would want if I was the Broncos. If anything, honestly, if we're going to go with, of all the people we've interviewed, if you want to go with something new and exciting, dude, give me D'Amico Ryans.
You know what would happen? And I'm totally just making shit up right now. If you brought in Harbaugh and he said, I'm going to just bring in Colin Kaepernick just to give him a tryout, Joey would be like, I'm just going to kill myself right now.
Yeah, right.
No, the Kaepernick thing is
I am joking.
long dead. But
I am
yes.
joking.
But wouldn't it be funny, though, if you did bring him in just to try him out one day?
It'd be hilarious.
As a coach.
Oh, my God.
The coach is plausible. He's like, he's going to lead Russell Wilson to the future.
Oh my
And then
God.
they're like, wait, you can't say future in front of Russ.
But I'm not gonna lie. I think of all the guys, it really depends on the staff that they're gonna build, and this is the same for the Colts, and
Shit
even,
for me too.
even with the Patriots. I mean, yeah, you got Bill, but Matt Patricia got fired today.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
That's a
did.
fucking lie.
You didn't know that?
No, that's not. That's not
Yeah,
true.
it was on Twitter this afternoon.
Nope, he didn't.
You got fired, bro.
No, you're
How do
making
you
it
not
up.
know that?
You're lying. I'm looking it up right now. They're full of shit. You're
No,
laughing.
No, I'm not. I swear to God, Joey said that. Dude.
No, it's fucking someone retweeted it from 2020, you dick. That's when we get
No,
fired
really?
from the Lions. Yes. I wish. I've been on the thing
Maybe
all
it was-
day.
No, right here, dude.
Where? What are you reading? From who?
8 hours ago.
I don't know, dude.
Patriots have done their research on possible Matt Patricia relationship 9 hours ago.
Yeah, but they're talking about guys to bring in. They're probably going to still keep that bitch. Unfortunately.
I mean, but they fired him as the offensive coordinator.
No, they still haven't. Unfortunately. Trust me, I'm on it nonstop.
I mean,
I've set
listen,
up those Twitter alerts. Like anytime I see Matt Patricia and fired in a tweet, just to,
I mean,
just to
I
ding
think you
me.
guys end up with Billy O or Kingsbury. To be honest,
Clit Kingsbury.
quiff.
I think he said Clit Kingsbury.
No, I said you're going to end up with Billy O or Kingsbury,
I'll take him.
and either way, that's a win for the Patriots. Matt Patricia is not going to have anything to do with the offense. And as of 9 hours ago, there was reports that he was
Great. He'll be. I'm
relieved
Belichick
of his
like,
duties as
we're gonna
offensive
put you back
coordinator.
on defense. I'm like, I'm just gonna
I don't know if he
shoot
was.
myself in the knee.
I'm not saying he was fired from the Patriots organization,
I
Just
wish.
might be moved from.
but
his
because it didn't make any
position.
sense for him to be fired from the organization entirely after Bill brought him in and then was like, "Hey, go do something you've never done," and then we're just gonna fire you and make you a scapegoat. Like that's not a Belichick move. That's
Would
not
love
no.
it.
I mean,
It is a business move, though, and the NFL is a
business ethics. Spanish Armada. That is correct.
I don't know why the voice you just did reminded me of what's his name from Rounders. He beat me straight up.
Give this man his money.
Yeah, what's his name? John Malkovich.
Yeah, John Malkovich. Good movie.
Oh,
I follow this
great.
guy on TikTok now who is a professional cheater in casinos.
Oh yeah, he's banned from every casino.
Yeah.
He just does all the videos.
Yeah,
now.
he's fucking awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like watching. I'm like, whoa, that's how you count cards. Like that's how you do it. Like,
yeah,
dude, there's teams of people that go into casinos and rob. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. No, it's all in the book.
I just play roulette,
21.
so-
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
He's
it's
one of those.
fucking-
Isn't he one of those guys? The MIT kids? Is that him?
I don't know. Some fat guy with glasses looks like he's from Jersey.
He is not one of the guys then.
No, he's funny as shit though.
That guy from Jersey. He's not one of them.
Well, not fat, but like round face, beard, like stubbly beard and
Yeah.
like short
yeah.
facial hair and glasses, and he's just like, yeah, and this is how you do it, and this is what's going on, and this and the right here. And then he analyzes like scenes in movies where there's cheating going on, and like Rounders was one of them, 21 was one of them, like, and Casino.
Chick.
He said Casino was actually the most accurate one that portrayed the way that they like that people cheated
Monitor.
or tried to cheat and
Yep.
monitored cheating.
Right.
He said that one was super accurate in terms of like how they actually do it, but I digest. 774-992-8702. Let's get into this. So obviously the DeMar Hamlin story, we talked about it a little bit last week. We didn't really talk too hard about it last week because it had already been talked about too much
Quite a bit.
by the time we get on the air. Obviously, he's out of the hospital now. He's back in Buffalo. Looks like he's going to make a full recovery. No word on yet as to if he'll ever play
He's
again or
probably
not.
Never
But
gonna play again.
I mean,
You don't think so?
No,
why not?
because he had like a heart issue.
Well, because here's the thing. We still don't know what caused this.
Right.
No, we don't.
There's
no
been
one's
no
saying shit.
we don't know if the kid had a inherent or genetic issue.
of course.
We don't know if it was the commotio cordis or if it was vaccine related or we don't know, and we might never know.
Right.
Because, HIPAA and all that kind of stuff. Now, if it was vaccine related, like I said, I would like to know since I'm vaccinated.
But we
you know,
never will.
if that's something that I have to be like I was saying earlier today to one of our buddies at lunch, and I was like, I'm talking to him and I'm like, look, if this was vaccine related, I would like to know that I'm vaccinated. I would like to know if me sucking down booze is, at the rate that I do, is going to adversely impact my heart because I got this vaccine. Like, let me know so that I can make choices and changes as I see fit
But then
to
you
potentially
live.
avoid. I know, but then I live, right, which
Right.
is the problem. That's what they don't want, especially me as a cis white male in today's society. They want me
Well,
dead.
yeah, you got Bill Gates up there, and all his like mother and father and like Planned Parenthood, and they're big like population controlist people. Bill Gates.
Bill
and shit.
Gates' mother and father.
Yeah, if you look up his mom or his dad or something, they were huge up in fucking Planned Parenthood. There's a whole thing on it.
What?
They're like
Planned Parenthood is actually one of the most racist fucking things that's ever
Yeah.
been started. Like,
Look it up,
Planned
dude.
Parenthood
Oh,
makes
no,
the
that-
KKK
Bill
look
Gates
like
is
fucking
like
child's play.
massively like into like population control. He already thinks that the planet's like 4 billion people overpopulation, wants to like kill like half of
Well,
us.
most people think that the Earth is overpopulated. That's like a natural, like
Right, but
common
he
sense.
wants to do something about
Is
it.
it though?
Was it Hitler?
I don't know. He's Bill Gates.
Bill Hitler Gates?
Maybe, I don't know. we'll find out when you drop dead from this fucking vaccine.
I mean, listen, I don't want to go down the Bill Gates rabbit hole right now, but like, I mean, overpopulation. Listen,
That's a real thing.
There's still plenty of room to live.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but like, no, they're not saying room to live. They're saying like earth growing stuff for people to eat and consume. Like it's not sustainable.
Still plenty of room for that.
You can eat each other.
No, still plenty.
No.
There's still plenty to go
I
around.
don't
Like,
mean that sexually either.
sorry, like I know methane cow farts now are like the big thing, and they're like, oh, the amount
Nah,
of
they're
cows.
off that again.
Yeah, they're off that this week. No, because you know why? Because it's raining too much in California. It didn't rain all year in California. Now it's raining too much, so we
Is
gotta,
it?
Yeah.
climate change is gonna kill us all. What was it? 3 years ago that they told us it was gonna take 12 years. So we got 9 years, maybe 8 years left before climate change gets us all. And like, la, scary climate change. Rawr, rawr. Or is it global warming, global cooling, acid rain? I don't fucking know. The ozone layer, who cares? Like, it's all just a fucking boondoggle. Like, the amount of people that still actually believe that climate change is something that is a major threat to humanity, and B, something that can be fixed by throwing more money at it is just absolutely alarming to me. It's just, I can't believe people can still be that stupid, but people are gullible and they want to believe things. But on to the Damar Hamlin thing. So the Damar Hamlin thing obviously happened on Monday night last week. We talked about it on Tuesday. I felt like there was, watching the Buffalo Patriots game, I had to shut it off. Because when they open, the game opens up, the Bills run back the kickoff. And I'm just like, I know the Patriots just didn't allow that to happen out of like the goodness of their heart.
Right.
But what the fuck, man? Like the opening kickoff, and then you've got Tony Romo sitting there going, I've got chills. I've got chills. And
No,
you're like,
no. Tony Romo said he had tears building up in his eyes.
why? Why?
He
The
died.
man didn't die. And that's my whole point, is like the man is not dead.
Yeah. Stop acting.
Damar Hamlin did not die on the field. It was a very touch and go situation there for a minute, but the man did not die. In fact, he's out of the hospital and expected to make a full recovery. And his charities are all millions of dollars richer, and the Bills already guaranteed the rest of his contract, and all so on and so forth. Okay, maybe he's not going to get the second contract and be able to play a full career, but chances are is what, a 4th or 5th round pick, 6th round pick, whatever he was.
I think he was second.
No, I think he was later than that.
6th round pick.
6th round pick.
Was he?
Yeah.
6th round pick.
Oh, that sucks.
There's a pretty decent fucking chance he wasn't going to last more than 3 years anyway. So, whatever. Like, okay, I get it. It was a sad thing. But there is a faction of people out there in the media, on social media, and doing these games, and that we talked about the sensationalism of it last week. There is a large swath of people that either think Damar Hamlin died on the field last Monday,
They're confident of it.
or wish he did, because it would have been better for them to juice it for the story and the drama and the tears and everything else that gets people
Look how distraught I am over
tugging
this.
at people's heartstrings. The amount of people that tried to make the Damar Hamlin situation about themselves is just fucking nauseating.
All the time.
Pathetic.
It was fucking pathetic. And I could go through and name, you had a fucking what's his name?
Friend of yours?
No, the old receiver there from the Vikings that's on TV, Nate Burleson. Talking about this is a byproduct of football. No, it's not. We don't know what caused this man to collapse. It could have been football related. It could have been not. The fact that it happened on a football field doesn't mean it was because of football. Are we talking about the 1,500 athletes that have collapsed in the last 2 years? Professionally or otherwise, and had cardiac events on their field of play
For no explainable
for
reason.
no real reason. Are we talking about that? Is that soccer related? Oh, soccer's so rough and tumble. These guys are just having heart attacks out on the field.
Yeah, okay.
Get the fuck out of
It's
here.
not 90 minutes.
And
straight,
then
right? We
you've
watched
got the other side of the coin too. And this is
sport.
this one went out my ass sideways, right? And this is just, again, stop making everything about you. You're not that important. I'm not that important. In the grand scheme of things, none of this matters. But you have these people that go out there, and friends of ours, and they post the picture, of the scene on the field of Monday night, and there's the ambulance, and it's got a big red circle around it. And it's like, the lowest paid people on this field this night did the most important work. Thank your first responders. And you're like, okay, yeah, no one was shitting on first responders. No
By
one
the
was.
way, they were not the lowest paid people in the field that night.
But
you know what I mean.
You get what I'm saying.
Water boy was, yeah.
The guy in there that's working for like $8.50 in Cincinnati. He's like, hello.
Right, but no, he's right. I mean,
But like,
right.
they're like, oh, the first responders were the ones that did the most, they did the most important work that night.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course that's their job.
Right. Pat their back for that fucking
Okay, and you know
back
what?
padding that they signed up for.
No, they should.
And you know what? They're
saved
of
your life.
Yeah, hell yeah.
the 4.8 million people in this country that are considered first responders, cops, EMTs, firefighters. Yes, we applaud you. I applaud you every single day. You have nothing but my utmost respect.
Right. It kind of goes without being fucking said at this point.
But also, you have to understand that when you took this job, and we're not first responders, but we're in the same field, it's a thankless fucking job.
Right.
No one fucking shows up. 65,000 people do not show up on a Saturday afternoon
And
to
pay
watch
$400
me
to $600
to watch me do rounds in a fucking cell block.
Right. Doesn't work. Somebody ought to tell the WNBA this, but we won't go there.
Which I wish I had the Ronda Rousey video cut up for that. That would have been perfect for this.
Rousey video?
Ronda Rousey basically coming out, and we'll talk about it next week. I'll bring
Wait,
it up
Ronda's
next week.
my girl. I want to know.
I'll tell you off the show. We'll save it for
Okay,
next week though,
okay,
because
okay.
it's a whole thing, and I want the video and
Okay,
and because it was
gotcha.
a press conference that she did, and she just. I was a Ronda Rousey fan before that, and now I'm a bigger Ronda Rousey fan.
That's good.
Oh,
So
really?
we'll do it next
I
week.
was never really a Ronda Rousey fan at all.
Oh, I love her.
I never really thought she was the first chick to like really kick ass in a very small pool
Second,
of talent.
second.
Who was the first?
Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
But-
I'm just saying.
But back to my original point. Again, like this is a thankless job. Being an EMT is not a job that listen, if you want to go make $10 million a year and you chose EMT as your career,
better start an ambulance company.
I got bad news for you, bro.
Better start your own ambulance company.
And even then, $10 million a year, probably not going to happen.
Yep.
70,000 people show up every single Sunday for 18 Sundays or more in some cases to watch these guys play. There are
pay thousands of dollars.
1,700 players active on any given Sunday in the NFL. 1,700. Out of the whole world's population, 1,700 suit up on Sundays.
Right.
But I said there's 4.8 million
Almost 5 million.
first responders in this country alone. Out of 1,700 in the entire world that can do it, anybody. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that being a first responder like you're less than or you're not there, but keep it in perspective, man,
Right.
and stop making it all about you. Again, like this just goes back to the fact that like, yo, no one becomes a cop because they want to get paid a ton of money. No one becomes an EMT because they want to get paid a ton of money. You do it for the reasons that are selfless, that you want to help people. You want to be the first ones there to be able to save lives. Trust me, I know a bunch of them, and they're all excellent at their jobs. And do they deserve more money? Probably.
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
I do
probably.
it for the benefits.
Right, but what I'm saying is like we have friends that do it that have literally saved countless amounts of lives in their short careers. Or their decade and a half old careers. They're still young. They're still our age. They're still under 40, and have saved countless amounts of lives and done things that ordinary people would never do. And not a single one of those people, the ones that I know personally, that I respect the most, that have done the most, that I know what they've done because I've talked to them and seen it. Not a single one of those persons sit there and bitch to say they're underpaid, or that they should be getting paid as much as an NFL player. Because they know goddamn well. Listen, I could quit the. There's probably what? I'd say 95% of the NFL could quit their NFL job tomorrow and go be an EMT.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's.
Probably
I'm not saying this to diminish what they do. But look, it's not that hard to get there. Now, to be good at it and great at it,
Right.
it's like anything else. Like those who work and immerse themselves in it and do it. Like that, yeah, they're going to be the better ones.
Right.
They're
those
the ones.
Those are the supervisors. Those are the guys.
Right,
that,
those are
you know
the
what I mean?
ones that go up the ladder and become it. But
And get
listen,
paid the
how many
$150
people do you know
grand a
that are like they bounce around from fucking ambulance company to ambulance company doing fucking
low lying shit.
going okay, yeah, this lady's her foot hurts again. She's got diabetes, so we're gonna take her to the ER, like whatever. Like, and that's a lot of it. But there are other times you gotta do real
Right,
work.
but they get it paid accordingly.
But they don't. But the ones that immerse themselves in it and love the job and do it, I never hear them complain about what they get paid. Never. But then you get on social media, and of course, somebody's going to sit there and they're going to, well, we got to make it about me. Well, that guy over there, yeah, he's only getting paid $25 an hour to save the guy's life who's making $1 million a year.
Well, you should have been a football player.
Well, then all right. Well, hey, you want to make $1 million a year? Go be a fucking safety in the NFL then. Go be a 6th round pick. We're not even asking you to be a 1st round pick.
Work that hard to get to that level. Give up your childhood, your summers riding
or
bikes
just
with
be
kids,
that gifted.
and be or that too. I mean, but be gifted, but there's also a lot of work that comes into getting to the NFL. As we obviously is, it's. I'm just
You
saying,
don't just get to the NFL by happenchance.
That's what I'm saying. Like it takes a lot of fucking work to get there, dude. Like you can put as much work into being an EMT. You can put as much work into anything.
Look, what were we talking about? Yeah, the other day on Sunday. If I knew I was going to be 6'3", 320 pounds.
Yeah.
And as big and strong as I am, I probably would have taken football a little bit more seriously when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade.
But that's the thing is,
but I
you gotta
didn't,
have
and I
that
didn't care.
mindset,
I didn't.
though, at a young age.
But see, here's the thing. I don't even think you do. I just think at some point you get to a point where you mature quicker than everybody else. You're very good at it, and you either continue to mature on that path and you excel at it, or you don't. Because there is way more people that don't. That are. Listen, I'm not the only guy who's 6'3", 320 pounds, and as big and strong as I am in the world. Like, no, there's plenty of other ones, and not all of them are in the NFL. Right. In fact, a large majority of us are not.
Right.
There's a very, very limited number of spots on NFL rosters. Like I said, 1,700 on any given Sunday.
Soon,
and that's a lot.
Add another 104 to that soon.
No, it's 53 guys Sundays.
Right.
I'm just saying
That's
Sundays.
Well, add another 106. I'm saying soon when they make it 2 more teams get added to the league.
Right. Whatever.
Oh God, they're gonna add 2 more.
Okay, so
want to.
1,800 guys. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Christ.
The talent pool is already watered down enough as it is with 32 teams.
TCU.
Yeah. Like, think about it. But you have these people that just, they insist on making it about them. And the Damar Hamlin thing brought out, I really feel like, the worst and the best in a lot of people. They brought out the best in the sense of, like, people came out and donated to his charities, and they raised money, and they donated to all of his stuff because it was front page news. But it brought out the worst in people. It brought out, and the cynic in me just sat there and wanted to fucking puke. Because it's like, yo, like, you're not that important. You had people who are bitching and complaining about why it took the NFL how did it take them that long to cancel the game? What do you mean how long? It took them 23 minutes to suspend the game.
Right.
Well, they should have canceled it right then and there. No, sorry. Injuries happen.
Right.
I know this one's a little more serious than your mainstream torn ACL or whatever. But Ryan Shazier couldn't walk and got brought off on a backboard and was paralyzed from the waist down when he was taken off the field. That game didn't get canceled.
Right. They still played. Yep.
Now this was a little bit more probably. There was a little more shell shock to this one because the kid collapsed and they were doing CPR and which
AED
props to the guys on the field doing the life-saving procedures that are going to allow him to make a recovery. Because yes, they deserve their due. But here's the thing, nobody wasn't giving them their due. But there's just some dickhead out there that's got to be like, well, this is all about me now.
Kind of badass that the kid woke up and he wrote down, he's like, did we win? And they're just like, nah.
And that brings me to my last point about this whole thing. For those of you out there that have never played ball, and I'm not even saying like I'm not some sort of like seasoned veteran. I played 1 year of college football.
If you're competitive.
I've been around it. I've been around guys who have. I've been around guys that have made it to, that have played Division I. Some of them gotten close, been on practice squads in the pros. Like, I've been around a lot of these guys. No one on a football field gives a flying fuck about their own safety. No one cares about their own health. My offensive coordinator, and I've said it on this show a million times, my offensive coordinator told me when I came back from an injury, when I played my 1 year of college football, I missed 5 days. I missed a week of practice because I blew out my back. My back was shot. I had the flu, I was dry heaving, and I pulled a muscle in my back, and it took me 5 days to recover, and I couldn't get down in a stance. I remember I tried coming back on Wednesday. I got down to my three-point stance, or went to get down to the three-point stance, and I just kept going, and I face-planted in the ground because my body wouldn't stand up. And I was like, I'm going to need to take a breather, coach. Sorry. I missed a couple of days. Heat, stretch, ice, blah, blah, blah. The trainer's working on me, all this other stuff. I come back the next week. We're in the warm-up line on Monday for practice, and we're stretching. I'm still hurting. It still hurts like hell, but I can at least hold myself up now. So I'm playing with not excruciating pain, but palpable pain. Like, I can feel the pain. This is not like just something that I'm like, okay, I can just shut my brain off, ignore it. Like, I'm going to have to figure out how, but I'm not just going through, like, this is going to affect me day to day, like minute to minute as I'm playing football at a very low college level. And we're going through the warm-up lines. My offense coordinator is walking through, during the stretches and, pre-practice stretches and all that. He's like, how you feeling? I said, like shit. And he goes, good. He goes, no one plays football because they want to be healthy. And it was the most true thing I've ever heard spoken in my life. No one plays football because they want to play healthy. No one on that field gives a shit if they get concussed. No one cares if they just want to get back in the game. And that's a problem. And I see the argument of like, okay, well, you've got to protect these guys from themselves because most of us don't give a shit. We're like, I don't care what's going to happen to me when I'm 55. I'm 21 right now, and I want to play in this goddamn fucking game. Right. Put me in. Mm-hmm. And that's the attitude. That's the mentality, because you have that alpha male killer mentality that you go in and you want to play. You want to be in the game. You want to be involved, and you want to win. And that's why when Damar Hamlin, the first thing he asked when he came out of his coma or out of that state, did we win? That should tell you everything that you need to know about football players and what it means to be a football player. Did we win? That's all I care about. And they were like, you did win, Damar. You won the game of life. Yeah, that
was lame.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
corny as fuck.
That.
That's corny as fuck. Obviously, I know I won that game. My eyes are open and I'm breathing.
Fuck that. Did we
what the fuck was the fucking numbers on the scoreboard? Because we got an AFC championship game that we're trying to host. Like, that's the thing. So when you get these people that don't play, you get these, again, and I say it all the time, the bug men. The people who never played but want so desperately, they wish they could have, but they couldn't because they were 110 pounds, they were frail, they were weak, they were betas, and these are the guys that come up with DVOA and all these advanced metrics and because that's the only way they can be involved in football.
Right.
Those are the guys that are sitting there going, well, these hits need to be taken out of the game.
Right.
No, that's part of the game.
Right.
It fucked my fantasy team, so I want it taken out. Like, yeah. Tough shit, dickhead.
It should tell you something when the dude who almost loses his life asks, like you said, about what the score was and how hardcore these dudes are and what the game means to them. It's like, well, what makes you fucking think that it means more to you, a fan or somebody who thinks that this should be taken
exactly.
out of, fuck out of here. If this guy's asking about the game, everybody was like, it's not about football right now. It's not about football, right now. Damar Hamlin woke up and it was about football. So it's like, who the fuck are you to tell the guy
Bingo.
who almost lost his life what it fucking means, or to anybody who plays or watches? Or
if you went and polled every single player in the NFL right now, mm-hmm. and they said if you play this game, there is a chance you could die on the field. Do you care? There would be a resounding nope. Don't care.
I have really potentially big breaking news, not football related.
Oh.
If you haven't heard about the WWE earlier today.
Oh, I think we told me Joe Biden was going to jail, but all right.
No, not like that. Stephanie McMahon was CEO, stepped down.
I don't have enough underwear on deck.
Stephanie McMahon was CEO, stepped down.
Be like Scary Movie.
Vince McMahon came back into
Sean
back
just
into
goes
power.
Flying against the window.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Vince McMahon came back into power, and apparently, as of 3 minutes ago, the WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the Live Company, the company that owns Live Golf.
That would
they put in a bid for it. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No. Like, apparently it's done. Like, it's done. Like,
yeah,
they own it.
so
it's not
the same Saudis
Vince,
that own Live Golf
Vince got pinched.
Yeah.
Came back in, swooped in, sold the company, and there you go.
Look it up. I don't even know this for a fact. I guarantee you, if you look it up, it's the same company. It's the same Saudis that own Live Golf.
That'll be the death of the WWE as we know it.
Big time. That's exactly what my first thought too. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
no more naked chicks, man. Cover up.
no more women at all. They're gonna get rid of all these women.
I would even
throwing you off
no.
buildings.
I just think once you lose the creative ability that Vince McMahon has fostered, and he's transitioned to Triple H and Stephanie and however it's trickled down. I think once you lose that's it, man.
Yeah.
Wrestling could be dead as we know it.
Fuck it. I never really cared for it much anyway,
Oh, I love it.
Or the Saudis just keep everything status quo and they just say, keep doing what you're doing. We're just going to fund you way more.
Yeah,
and
that's
now
what
your
I'm thinking.
bankroll is going to be way bigger, and now you can pay more people and do more shit.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to do it out of the goodness of their heart,
Right.
but
So I was like, I want a hologram of Owen Hart flying from the rafters. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No,
Too soon, man.
Yeah.
Too soon.
No, sorry. That was a bad Jason joke.
But just to wrap this whole thing up, the DeMar Hamlin thing, again, my biggest thing that I took away from this weekend was there is a lot of people out there that wish this kid had died for their own personal gain, for their own personal reasons, so that they could have gone on and talked about how heartbroken they were and how devastating it was.
And how the rules of the game need to change that they don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, and shame on you and fuck you.
Right.
To those people. And you know who you are. No one came out and said it. I wish he had died, because it would have made my show better. But I saw so many clips and so many things and so much shit and heard so many things all weekend. Like Saturday night when he came to.
Some dumb bitch gonna do a beef with something I forget.
I mean, when it came out Saturday night that he was like out of the hospital, or he was going to be out of the hospital, he was awake and everything else. Like you thought the guy cured cancer, the way people were talking about him.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like good, great, he's great, but that happens to like thousands of people a day. Right. There's probably some like 65-year-old guy in Michigan right now who just collapsed in his kitchen and is being worked on as we speak by EMTs. And do you think his work is going to cancel work the next day? Do you think he's going to get, do you think everybody's going to get a day off or a week off? Or do you think you think if it happened at a Fortune 500 company, they'd be like, whew, okay, guys, we really got to reevaluate what we're going to do. I know we got that big meeting tomorrow about the merger, but we're going to push that off. You know what? Let's just cancel it. We'll just cancel it, take the loss, and let's move on because this is more important. Nope. Sorry. Like, I hate to tell you, but yeah, you're not that important. Mm-hmm. Someday I'm going to die. And guess what? A couple people will care. My immediate family and friends will give a shit. And it'll be, oh, that sucks. Fats is gone. And then within like,
damn, that's fucked up. He's like, oh man, that motherfucker dead. Anyway.
And then within 4 to 6 weeks, it'll be like,
no.
Whatever. Nobody will care. Row 1, Seat 1 will go off the air. It won't be a thing anymore. And everybody will be like, oh, man, remember that show we used to listen to on Tuesdays?
We're off the air now.
Who did he leave his pool table to?
Yeah, right?
Paul's like, oh, look at this will. There's a handwritten letter in this file.
All the trains.
And it's like, oh.
I get some train.
It's like, oh, damn, the fucking Patriots lost. I bet you that was Fats. Like, he did that. He made that happen.
Eat my balls.
Right? And you just see me, it's like I'm Cartman. I'm like, suck my dick.
Suck my balls, you guys.
You guys can kiss my asshole.
You guys are being a
last thing we're going to do before we get out of here. So a lot of you people do not follow professional darts. I follow professional darts. As a dart player and somebody who is a supreme enthusiast about darts, this video might be the single most insane fucking thing I've ever seen. Now, it was a video that came out. I think it happened either last Tuesday or Wednesday. It happened while we were on the air last week or the day after. I can't remember. It was 6 or 7 days ago. And this was a championship match in the Pro Dart League. Now, Michael Van Gerwen, who is the bald guy that you will see in this video, Michael Van Gerwen is like the he's like the Michael Jordan of darts right now. This guy is, yeah, you're right, because Phil, what's his name is
Phil Hartman.
No, God damn it.
Phil Hartman.
Doesn't matter. Was probably the Michael Jordan, but he's Michael Van Gerwen's like the Kobe Bryant of darts. This guy's, when he's on, he's unbeatable. And the way darts works is you start with 501 points. Every dart you throw at the board, whatever you hit, you subtract from that total of 501. Now, the inside ring is triple, whatever the number is. The outside ring is double. There's 2 rings in the bullseye. The inner ring is double. The outer ring is single. Single bull is 25. Inner ring is 50. So a lot of people are like, well, why are they shooting at the bullseyes? Well, because triple 20 is worth 60. So they shoot at triple 20. So you'll see in this clip, and just, you know what, like, forget the way the game works and everything for a second. Just watch the crowd and the reaction to this clip. It's fucking wild.
To find a breaker throw in this set if he wants to level up the World Championship final. Michael Van Gerwen isn't in any mood to give him a sniff.
Yeah, the combination finishing in this game is going to be key. You can tell by the way they're scoring, there may be nothing in it. They may both be on 9s. Michael may miss and Michael may hit. They're both on 9s. They're both on a 9. This is insane. Come on now.
Wow, the World Championship final. Michael Van Gerwen is on a 9-darter in the World final and just misses double 12. Over to you, Michael Smith.
One man misses, does the other man get? I have never seen the like. Come on, Spolly boy. Yes, double 12. That is the most amazing leg of darts you will ever see in your life. I can't speak. I can't speak.
Absolutely unbelievable. The crowd are going berserk. Michael Smith makes more.
So that's Michael Smith.
Look at the
obviously
way he
guy-
threw those sticks.
The guy, so a 9-darter is a perfect game.
Yes, it
Basically, so what you just saw right there, that is less likely to happen. Like, you have a better chance of seeing 2 pitchers go into the 9th inning of a MLB game with perfect games intact. Perfect games. Not no hitters, perfect games. It's statistically less likely to happen. 2 guys to be on a 9-darter like that, and I've only seen one other time where somebody threw 17 perfect darts and missed the 18th. And that was Michael Van Gerwen, who missed back-to-back 9-darters a couple years ago. And he threw a 9-darter. He came back up. He threw 8 more perfect darts and missed double 12 like he did in this one. The only difference was with this one, Michael Smith he was on a 9-darter too and did it. The crowd was fucking insane. The crowds at these events are fucking hilarious. It's absolutely fucking wild. I encourage you. Like, darts. It's not a sport. It's a game. Okay. I guess when I posted the video earlier this week, it was like, oh, this is the greatest athletic achievement I've ever seen. I'm like, and everybody laughed, like, athletic. I'm like, it's obviously said.
Athletic?
It's obviously said very tongue in cheek. Like,
Right.
But listen, if golf is athletic, then so is darts. Okay. If I can go out and get dusted by a 5'8", 300-pound fucking 85-year-old on the golf course,
Right.
is that athletic? I mean, if that's athletic, then so is this. Just saying.
Yes, yeah.
But this was fucking wild. And then the commentary kills me.
Yeah.
The way the Brits and like these UK guys, like the way they call it, whether it's Formula One, darts, soccer.
By the way, where is it? Is this in a bar?
No, this is in like a pseudo pub state, like a stadium type setting. Like,
Okay, because it
It's
seems
like
like
a
it's
massive-
a big ass bar.
yeah, that's basically how it's
All
set
day
up.
serve, I think.
So it's a big ass arena, and they set up long tables, like pub style tables. And if you watch any of these events, you'll see there's hundreds of pitchers of beer lining the tables and huge like glasses, and like there's like, I remember there was one event I saw. There was a guy dressed up like Willy Wonka, and then he had 9 midgets with him, all dressed up like Oompa Loompas, just following him around. That's I mean, like, there's guys dressed up like Mario and Luigi. Like, it's darts is a whole fucking another thing. But
What
that
would you get? Sorry.
that was like the single greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in darts in my entire life.
Yeah.
2 guys on a 9-darter in the world championship round, in the final round. Like, this is for all the marbles. That game didn't decide the championship, but Michael Smith, the guy who won, did end up going on to beat Van Gerwen, the guy in the green who missed that double
Van
12.
Gerwen is like
Dan
He's
Gerwin's
like the Peyton Manning or he's like the Joe Montana or whatever.
yeah, he's the Kobe Bryant, if you will.
He's the standard.
Of darts.
He's the
He
standard.
is right now the gold standard. Phil Taylor was the guy who was probably like the Michael Jordan of darts. He's just like fucking like you look at him, he's just this old pot-bellied fat guy, and he just absolutely fucking snipes darts into wherever he wants. I mean, I'm a decent darts player. I've gone to competitions and I've held my own, against guys that compete on the reg. But this is some next level shit. I mean,
that's crazy.
I've come close to a 9-darter before. I think 8 darts is my most. 8 perfect darts is the most I've ever thrown. And I remember when I got to the 9th dart and I lined it up to shoot for the dart, I was literally shaking.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't hold. I was like, stop. I'm like, because if you do this, like this is. That's how rare it is. Like you don't even get the opportunity. Like anybody who's throwing darts knows. Like I have an iPad right to the right side. You guys have seen my setup downstairs. Yeah. I have an iPad to the right side of my dartboard, probably about 18 inches away from the board.
Yeah, if that foot.
When people look at the pictures of it, or they see it and they're like, "Aren't you afraid somebody's gonna hit the iPad?" And I'm like, No,
because if you hit the iPad, then you shouldn't be.
If you hit the iPad, you need to be not throwing darts.
You shouldn't be throwing darts.
You shouldn't be here.
Well,
don't get me
The
wrong.
only dots you should be throwing is smokes.
You
in
should
your
not.
face,
You should not let my wife throw. Then, like that was a dangerous game.
No, Kayla's come down and played it on our board.
I know. And sometimes she's hit the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I've missed the board before, throwing tops and one sails on you, or you throw them bolt low and it dives on you, whatever. Like, it happens. I mean, I've never, missed the board left or right that bad because I know pretty much, where I'm throwing it. But I also play a lot, so that's the difference. But anyway, that was super fun. Check it out. You can look that up on Twitter. There's a whole my favorite thread about that. One of my favorite comments in that whole Twitter thread was like, these guys suck. They're not even hitting the bullseye. This is clearly somebody who doesn't know darts or just was trolling. It was like, these guys are trash.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's leave it there, boys. We'll be back next week with a full, who do you guys got this weekend? By the way,
okay, I'll go through the games. We go picks really
just
quick.
give me your winners.
I'll go 49ers. I'm going to say Jaguars beat the Chargers. I'm going to go that in my upset. Bills over the Dolphins, easy, because I fucking can't stand the Dolphins. They suck. Vikings over Giants. I'm going to say Bengals over Ravens. Buccaneers over Cowboys, because Dak should not be starting anymore. It should be Rush.
All right. I'm going Niners over the Seahawks. I got the Jags over the Chargers as well. Buffalo over the Dolphins. I am going Giants over Vikings.
Okay, makes sense.
It's a 4:30 game.
You're right. I should have thought about that.
It's just I'm gonna play the odds here. The Vikings are the better team. There's no reason why they shouldn't win this game. But it's 4:30, and Kirky, tends to do funny shit at 4:30.
Yeah.
I'm going Cincy over Baltimore, and I am taking Dallas on Monday night over the Bucs because I just don't think Brady is going to be able. I think Micah Parsons is going to have his way with Brady.
Yeah. I got so I'm almost pretty much on board with that. I got Niners over the Seahawks. I don't have any fucking trust in fucking Geno Smith. I got Chargers over the Jaguars. I got Bills over the Dolphins. Giants over the Vikings as well. Bengals over the Ravens, and I got Cowboys over the Bucks.
Okay.
All right.
So the only games we disagree on is the Bucks game, Vikings game, and Jaguars game.
Yeah.
Everyone has the 49ers though. Should be a cakewalk. I still think the 49ers go to the Super Bowl. That's the NFC pick for me. They're just too good.
I'm going Super Bowl. I'm going Niners Bills.
I'm going Niners and fucking Chiefs.
I don't disagree with that.
The Chiefs figure it out. They always do. And Buffalo is shaky.
I don't disagree with that. Buffalo is shaky, but I feel like Buffalo is going to ride this high, if you will, of this incident. I feel like that this emotion, it's going to take them far. And because if it gets to Buffalo, Kansas City, AFC Championship game, it'll be in a neutral location. I'm going with Buffalo. So
is that up right now?
It will be. I'm going Buffalo Niners in the Super Bowl, and I'll go Niners over Bills.
I'm going KC Niners. I'm taking. It's going to be KC again.
God, I hope you're wrong.
Me too. Me too. But I'm literally not even being biased or anything right now. I'm just literally going with what I see on the football field.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to make. You're not wrong to make that judgment because
I think it's going to be KC over the Niners.
But but you know what? I thought after the Buffalo game last year, I thought KC was like, oh, they're a cakewalk to win it all.
But they're so seasoned right now. Think about it. Mahomes has only been in the league for so long, and he's already played so many playoff games and been in the big one, and he's done it. Same with Travis Kelce. I mean, the guy lost one of the greatest offensive weapons, and he still put up 40-something and
45 touchdowns.
45 and 5,600 fucking yards, dude. And they thought, oh yeah, Mahomes gonna regress. He's gonna take a step back without Tyreek Hill. Nah, bro. Nah. I hate the guy. I mean, on the football field. Like, I dislike Mahomes, I dislike KC, but I'm just being a fucking realist right now.
Can we just point out real quick, too, that we have not heard from Jackson Mahomes or Brittany Mahomes all season?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody put the fucking kibosh on that.
Good call.
Yeah, and I think that was Patty. I think he did.
I think so, too.
He was like, hey, listen, assholes.
But we'll get back to it next week. We'll talk more about it next week after we get the results of these games. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you all for your calls. Sorry the calls that we did miss. I know there was a couple people that called in that we missed.
Sorry.
Well, Rob was on the phone. We haven't heard from Rob in a while. Yeah. So, but it is what it is. We'll be back next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. 42 days from from today, I will be in Daytona at the Daytona 500. Can't wait for that. I'm looking up pit passes, trying to get trying to secure some interviews, some fun things, so we can have some nice content for the show from that. But
get a mobile mic and a fucking camera, asshole.
I have a camera. It's called my phone, Paul.
Yeah, bitch.
But we'll be back next Thursday night, 8:30.
Yeah.
The show will be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Google, iHeartMusic, wherever you get your podcast from. Be up within probably about an hour. We'll be on our YouTube channel as well. Until next Tuesday, guys. Hey, enjoy Super Wildcard Weekend. And
Peace.
we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Deuces.
Peace.